Okay, so we made it to the live, and so we're here. There's already 9 people here. Hi, guys. So we're gonna let the room fill in just a little bit. I've just been trying to relearn StreamYard, basically. So while we're here, we thought we'd talk about some interesting topics, but we're going to let a few more people get here since we changed the time kind of last minute. But hi, guys!
Oh my goodness, that was so confusing. I accidentally had both YouTube and StreamYard open at the same time, so I was hearing an echo.
Hello!
And I was like, Bunny, why are you talking 3 times?
It's a fly.
It's so funny. Okay, let's see. How do I do this? Let's see.
Hello, everybody. Hello. There's 13 people in the room. What? So for those of you who are coming in, we haven't successfully done a stream together, I don't think, ever. So, hi. Let's see. Oh, lots of people coming in. Yay. Okay, so people are finding us now. Did notification go out to everyone? If it did, please say yes in the comments. If it did not, then just silence. I'm just trying to figure out if YouTube pushed out the notification so everyone would know what's going on. Today we have a few topics that we wanted to talk about, so we thought the more the merrier here. And then we can explain why exactly we will not be going to Quartzsite this year. And I think that you guys will understand once we put it all together. Okay, yes, the notifications went out. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to pull this up on my phone also so I can make sure that we're not having any lags, but I'm going to mute it, so give me just 1 second.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my iPad, so.
That's weird. That's super weird to hear that.
The same thing did it to me. Can everyone hear us okay?
I do have a little bit of a lag, so you guys are not in completely real time. You're probably like 15 seconds behind the actual time, so that's not too bad. LBO is here. Hello.
Lady Gaga, what's up? Hey, girl, hey.
Okay, so now that we have everybody in here, I guess we can just start chatting a little bit. I'm going to leave the big subject for kind of later in the chat. So I thought first we could catch up and see kind of what's been going on since we haven't been here in a bit. So let's get started. First and foremost, Riley.
Yes.
Topic number 1. What have we been up to?
What have we been up to? Well,
what have we not been up to?
What have we not? I haven't been traveling as much. I've been doing short trips here and there, but I've been sitting still in Las Vegas for a while, which is where my base camp is. This has been a crazy year.
It has been one of the wilder years that we have experienced, I think, collectively as like a group, but at the same time, individually, very intense.
Yeah, for sure. I think the last time I saw you, or like that I really was on the road, was actually like back in the spring. We were at Bisbee, right? For the Weird Wild West event. And then, hey, Collie and Kyle. And then I was on the road for a little bit too. And then I went all the way back to Vegas, and then I did short trips here and there. I flew to Chicago a few times, and then mostly I've just been venturing locally here.
I get it.
Yeah, and it was my first summer in Vegas. I don't know if anyone's ever been in the desert in the summertime. It sucks. That was new. I'm not going to do it again. 120 degrees every single day. I was miserable. I couldn't even take a cold shower because the heat was so bad that the pipes, like the water was too hot. So
I sent you a suggestion that I found on TikTok.
Yes, it was the best. It was the best. I was like, I showed it to my parents. I was like, this is so genius. So take like a strainer full of ice and then like somehow tie it to the shower hose so that the water is like going through the ice. And it's really funny. I should try that. I should definitely try that.
There are flies. There are flies in the house. There are flies.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, you should definitely figure out a way to get rid. Like, maybe you just have like a fly infestation or something. Maybe you have, because I swear it's like not normal.
No, no, it's because it's been hot, then cold, then hot, then cold, then hot, then cold. So super fun. Anthony, what up, Anthony?
Hey, Anthony. You need me to
Yeah,
get
so
the flies. Yes, we do, Dee. Yes, we do. She was very,
all of the
very
flies.
fast. Yes. Even Tyson was trying to chase them, right? Like
yes.
all of
So
Texas.
for all of those who don't know, another thing that's been up is we just celebrated Vanmas year 2. So just a bunch of friends get together, and it's a way for us to celebrate the holidays. You'll be able to see more of that leading up to it on my tiny channel because I'll be doing Vlogmas every single day. But the fun part about it is, for me to do Vlogmas, knowing that Vanmas was at earlier in the month, I had to celebrate Christmas in November leading up to December, and I'm still celebrating Christmas even now. So I basically did 2 months of Christmas this year, and I'm not mad at it. I love Christmas. It's so twinkly and pretty. So yeah, that's what I've kind of been up to. And then of course my year was weird because I had the wreck way back in March. Still haven't gotten my doors. No hope in sight for that. But I just kind of prevailed and decided that I was going to start doing some travels again, and it's worked out really well. So that leads me into kind of an interesting place where I didn't get to go as many places as I would like to, and so that's kind of where I am. But
yeah, it kind of conveniently worked out that way, right?
yeah. But the one consistent thing that we've had all year, even with our inconsistent life, has been we've all remained friends.
Yes.
Throughout the entirety of the thing. So there was a little bit of weirdness that happened earlier in the year where I think some people were kind of down with that. But little did they know we talk like this all the time. So
every day we chat every day, everybody. We really are still friends. I know that some people thought we weren't, and I was like, I just thought that was so funny. Like, I don't know who started it, but there was this rumor that you and I were not friends.
Which is
which
weird,
is ridiculous. Like, I talk to you so much.
Right. And so it's just kind of been one of those things where we've been dealing with our own separate set of issues. And because I'm in Texas and you're in Vegas, I think that there were some wires that were crossed. And so guess what? No.
I mean, like everyday people, like people move, you know what I mean? Like I'm actually originally from Chicago, and I still have friends there. Like if someone's not feeling well, then I send them well wishes from afar. And if I'm able to make it, I make it. But I feel like that's a normal thing, you know?
I think so too.
I know you had somebody claim, like somebody was like, oh, you're a terrible person for not coming to visit me. And I'm like, I mean, you check in on me every single day. So
like the best thing about it is, like, at the end of the day, we sit back and we know what's going on in our little orbit. And I think that because of the limited window, some people just draw conclusions. And that's kind of, I think, been another theme throughout the entirety of the year is there's been a lot of weird conclusions for no reason. And so it's just been kind of interesting to see all of that playing out kind of behind the scenes. But at the same time, just living our regular lives. Like, I chat with you as much as I would chat with the person who was physically present with me. And like that's the craziest part. But also, like, we have all these other friends that we unfortunately don't get to see as much as we would like to. So that was why I think it was so wild when people were like, oh, so you're just not friends, you're not talking to each other, you haven't been hanging out. And I'm like, I hadn't seen Dee in a while, up until like when she came to meet me. And she came out to the house in, like, I think it was like July or August. And then after that, like, we met back up in October. But before that, I hadn't seen her in forever. And then, like, Colleen and Kyle, who are here in the chat right now, I hadn't seen them
for like
literally last week.
Like last year, right?
Yes. So I think that's just kind of the ebb and flow of being nomadic and moving around. Like, sometimes you get to hang out with your friends, and sometimes your friends are off on other adventures. It just kind of is what it is. But So that's been something that's been up this year. But I guess that leads us into our next topic, which is not what have we been up to, but what is in fact coming up. Ooh.
I know. So we had a lot of people going, what are you doing? I mean, even our friends didn't find out until we just saw everybody like a week ago. But
so let's start with what's immediate, and then we'll talk about the big Q. So what do you have that's going to be coming out for visibility for people to see soon?
Okay, so I just got back from Chicago. I did a trip there. I actually took Tyson with me. So I did a video on what it's like to fly with a tiny dog when he's sleeping back there. If I try to pick him up, he's just going to get pissed off at me. But so I have some
Yeah.
like videos of my adventures in Chicago that I'm going to share. I'm also going to share a few more like Las Vegas adventures. There's been a lot of really fun stuff around here. Conveniently, so I don't know if anybody knows this, the F1 race is going, or it was here in Las Vegas, and I was like, I made sure to avoid that. I stayed away. I was like, nope, I don't want to be in the strip. So, and then I also left town for that too. So that's what's going to come up on my channel very soon. What about you?
So you and I filmed a video, and that's going to be out on the 20th. And for those who have been watching the channel for a long time who thought that the Carcel video was funny, I think this will play along those lines. It's an actual serious video, but I find that I retain serious subjects better when laughing. So we collaborated on something quite wild, and it'll be out on the 20th, so you'll have to watch that. It's a video that I've been talking about that I was going to do, and Riley just happened to be here and was like, yeah, sure, I can growl like a bear, just saying. So yeah, it's super funny. And so that's coming out. And then also, of course, like my regular travels that I was doing, I'm still like sharing some of those because I did some super cool places and some super cool hiking. And as always, I kind of have a buffer that I work with because I'll be off to my next adventure very soon. And because of that, I want to keep safe because I might be traveling by myself again before I travel with someone else. So there's that. So those things are going on my channel and things that people can look for. And of course, there's the big Fanmas video that'll be out on Christmas, by the way.
Mine will come out on Christmas too, I'm pretty sure. And then I'll probably do some kind of like year-end recap like I did last year.
Nice.
Not sure what that's going to look like just yet. Just kind of like, this has been a wild year, you guys. This has just been interesting, to say the least.
It's been a year of development.
Is it still flying? I think they're attracting.
It's like bombing my head. I'm trying to hold up the Kermit to keep it away from my face. In the meantime, I don't think
anybody's wondering why you're like.
There's a fly, guys. It is bad. So in Texas, we had warm weather this time around for this year. It's a little late in the year for it to be warm, and so there have been flies, and like more flies than you normally would find. And for some reason, because it gets cold at night, they're like, hi, and welcome to my home. So they've been coming inside, and then I just have to, but the problem is they're so fast. Oh, you touched my nose. It's not fun.
We need Dee back. She needs to.
No.
Needs
we
to,
develop a new friend rule. No hitting your friends with the flies.
Oh my God, that was the funniest thing. Yeah. Because I watched it happen in like slow motion as Dee's taking, this is my back scratcher. She came up to you, she like snuck up to you like a cat and just was like, whack.
And I was like, what?
It was great.
But see, the problem was I was not fast enough. Nor, even though I saw it coming, was I expecting it? I don't know why. I guess it was because I was thinking,
he
wouldn't get me.
She didn't hit me that hard. It was literally the funniest thing though, because she like, I think she was in deep concentration trying to get the fly, and then all of a sudden.
It was
like I could see it on her face. It was like utter realization of, oh no.
It was an immediate reaction. No,
you reacted bigger than it was.
I mean, it was
the first thing you said was like, "Thou shalt not hit
your friend." Yeah.
Thank you, Collie. It was a love tap. A love tap.
It was not love because it was a tap with a fly swatter. It was dirty. It was like a dirty tap. Ew.
Well, I mean, it was only on your arm. It's fine. It's fine.
It's only on my
She didn't do it again. Well, and then she headbutt you. That was also funny.
Yes. For those who are tuning in who have no idea what we're talking about, we had some fun with our band miss. I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier. Again, the videos will be coming out like at Christmas, but it was interesting. There were some fun times, and there were also some interesting things. So we'll see what makes it into the video. I haven't even touched it yet. Happy holidays! Hello, Linda.
Yes, welcome to the chat.
Welcome. Okay, so we have built up to the big thing. And so I think it is a good time, now that we know what we've been up to and what we know is coming out, now it's time for us to address the elephant in the room. The title of this video, why are we not going to Quartzsite? That's right, we're not going to Quartzsite this year. We've gone the last couple of years and we've touched base. We've gone to Schoolypalooza a couple times. Well, I have. Riley's only gone once. Sorry, Riley.
No, I've gone twice. Oh, wait.
You have? Well, you went before we got kicked out the first time and then
yes,
left.
I was there for the day.
I was thing.
Yes, the first day, and then I left, and then you guys got kicked out, and then I saw the huge line, the train of buses, and I was like, did something happen? Like, and then I get a text from
slow motion waving, and it could have really been a parade.
Right? Yeah. Where was it?
Yeah, we've
was
been several years. It was just outside of Parker in California, just barely in California.
Barely
and then we went back into Arizona because Arizona and California, different BLM management people. That was what happened with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went a couple times though. Last year was super fun. We had our meetup and got to meet a lot of incredible people. And this year we were really kind of toying with if we're going to go, if we're not going to go. And then life kind of started to show us what we needed to do. First and foremost, like Riley said, she has been in the desert all year. And so Riley, are you tired of the desert yet?
I'm so tired of the desert. There's sand everywhere. I mean, yes, it's nice because it's warm and there are so many beautiful parts to the desert. Like, I'm not denying that, but like, I have not left. And
you have a great equalizer moment.
It's just red. I miss green. Like, I miss seeing trees, like real trees.
Even if they're trees, don't have leaves. Like, yeah, I'm the same way. I spent most of my summer in Texas, and even though I enjoyed being here because it gave me opportunity to work on my tiny home a lot, and I really needed to do that, I am ready to move. And I want to move to places that I haven't been because I am seeking some brain wrinkles. Like, I feel as though I did so many things out west last year, and it was so fun. But at the same time, there were so many things that I still haven't done. And I've been on the road. This is going to be my 7th year now. And there are some sections of the United States I just haven't done much in. Yeah. And so looking at the weather for winter, I was like, okay, so we have 2 options. We can go this way, we can go this way, or we can sit still and stagnant. And so I was like, let's do something different and look for some trees. Look for some water. Look for some
water.
Like, something.
Yes, because I love waterfalls. Like water. I mean, when we went to the Pacific Northwest, or we went to Colorado, I mean, there was at least one waterfall hike a week. Like, and now I'm tired of dry weather. You guys, I even miss snow. When I was in Chicago most recently, it was like my first snowfall, like actual snowfall in at least a year. And I was like, ooh, what's this? Oh, it's cold. Right. And then the weather dropped to like 30 some degrees. And then I was like, over it.
I get it. Yeah, I think that one of the things that we both are kind of looking for is to do something a bit different, but then also there's a few more serious reasons to not do some of the things. I want to start off by saying anyone who is watching this, if you are going to Quartzsite, it's a great place, especially if you're just starting out. There's tons of like instructional things there so that you can learn. There's really great people, and we met some of our community there, and so I think that is great, and that's why Quartzsite is good. I also think, though, that after you've been year after year after year, it's a very specific choice to go back time and time again, mostly because it does have the free land. But if you've gone out to all the adventures, I'm an adventurer. I move around. I do a lot. And if you've already done all of the adventure activities like in that area, then you end up having to recycle adventures. And I don't love to do that as much when it comes to those specific kinds of adventures. Like there's some, again, great things. So,
and you've been on the road for 7 years. You're probably tired of Arizona at this point.
I mean, I did so much in Arizona last year, and it was so cool because, again, I got to do things I hadn't done. But just looking for something new. But for those who are going, there's lots of good stuff there. I would make a few suggestions, though, and we'll kind of get to those after we kind of talk a little bit more about why we're not going. But I think that for us this year, just trying to do something different is kind of on our agenda after having to do the same over and over and over all summer.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of people are going to be there. There's so many other creators who will be doing their own meetups or their own videos. Like,
absolutely. I mean, there's already people who are going out there right now because
like, and it's like
LPGA is always
easier, especially as a newbie, I think. So if you were still going, I mean, definitely still go. Because I'm distracted by you going like this.
I know, it's like bad. It's like wanting to eat my face. Yeah, I think that it is really, really great. And especially for those who are starting out, or snowbirds. Snowbirds can go out there for $180 and stay on one piece of land for the duration of the snow season. I think that that's wonderful. But with that said, now these are a few things that I think we should talk about. It is expensive to go to Quartzsite, so you have to prepare and bring your things in. Otherwise, they are not there. So for anyone who is under the impression that it is cheap just because there is free land, you need to prepare before you go because you have to have things.
Water's important.
Water's so important.
So important.
Yes. If you like to shower, last year when we were there, many of the truck stops weren't even allowing van people to shower late in the season because they had bad experiences. One lady at one truck stop, so one time we went to the truck stop and it's like $18 a shower.
We had to drive we had to drive outside of Quartzsite, didn't we? Like, where did we go? Did we go to Lake Havasu?
We went to Lake Havasu because we were leaving, but we also went to Ehrenberg and to Blythe just so that we could get a shower. So those are important things to note. Like if you're a shower every day kind of girly, you need to have a shower every day. You need to take your things so you can shower with your own unit because some of the places were not late in the season. Now, earlier in the season, I'm sure it was different because when we went through there earlier, it wasn't a problem. But when we went through later, I literally had a person at a truck stop tell me that somebody had ruined it for all van lifers because they had taken a potty break in the middle of the shower when there was a toilet in the room and they left it. So, just know that if people start doing weird stuff, you will not have access to those things. But I don't want to be an alarmist. Just be prepared. Take your water. Take all of your things. The closest Walmart is way over in Parker. And that one I have noticed if you're looking for butane, propane, hand warmers, anything like that, it smells out. So you're really going to be better at a different place.
Yeah. I remember last year, because I have one of those tiny little butane gas stove things, and I ran out of butane, and I remember having to just chase you down and be like, "You're cooking for us tonight because I can't do it."
But yeah, those are things that we kind of encountered. There's lots of great community things. If you want to know about the community events that they have going on, go to the big tent. There is a huge list of all the different activities that happen at the big tent, but also around town that is as soon as you walk into the big tents, or at least it was last year. And also there's going to be tons of people out there talking about the different stuff that's going on currently, including like the regular people who go out there every year and set up and have like little homestead camps. So there's tons of that. So those are kind of some tips. Also, if you're planning on going to like Schoolypalooza, if they're doing it in the same place, which I think they are, the truck stop right up the road from Schoolypalooza, that's where I found showers. And if you are using that, get the professional driver card and you can build points for your regular purchases. And then your showers might have a discount. I'm not saying they will, but they might, because I lucked into some rewards points that made a $16 shower a $15 shower, which I know doesn't sound like much, but then I also encountered a $16 shower that became a $9 shower. Every little bit counts. So, those are just kind of a few little tips. But now I want to talk about one of the more serious reasons I am not going to Quartzsite. And this is a personal thing. This isn't so much a Riley thing, it's a me thing. So as you guys know here on the channel, I have a lot of people who always are commenting and leaving really lovely things, but there are a few people who have left some less than lovely things. And so the reason why I want to address this in this particular live is because this is something that very much influenced me not going to Quartzsite. I recently had more than one. In the last 6 months, I've had more than one actual physical, credible sounding death threat. And that's not okay, guys.
No.
I'm not always going to do what everybody wants me to do. And I'm not going to always, as soon as somebody wants me to change something, I'm not going to do that. I'm myself. I'm living my life. This is me sharing my adventures. But the problem with sharing your adventures sometimes is that people take liberties with your life. And if you don't make the decisions, they emote to you. They get very angry. And I've had 2 very credible, have been turned into the authorities threats from faceless accounts who consider themselves nomads in our van community. That's a little unsettling because they don't have faces on our accounts. And even if they did, I wouldn't know that that's for sure who they are. But going into public spaces when you have someone who has not been super great in very detailed ways about how you should not be alive. That's the best way to say it without getting this thrown off. That's not okay. And so because of that, it unfortunately has made me very hesitant to be in larger groups of people I don't know. Realistically, do I think everyone out there is the boogeyman? No, I do not. I don't think most of the people are the boogeyman. And we've had some wonderful invitations from people that we met last year to camp with them. And it's nothing that any of these people did. So I want to put that out there and make that extremely clear. No one that we met last year who has invited us to camp with them is a reason for this. It is someone else, but unfortunately, I don't know who that person is, or those people, rather. And so because of that, I am just going to kind of stay in my own zone. It's really scary, though, because most weird stuff is going to be thrown at you. And I've been read 6 days from Sunday about my way that I talk because I use my hands, or the fact that people think I record in one way and shouldn't, or they don't like my hair, or they think that I'm fat or that I'm ugly. And I'm fine with you saying whatever you want to in that. Just know that your words have consequences and there's a block button and it's real strong. But when it comes to something that threatens a person's life or tells them that they should unalive themselves, then at that point I have a 0 tolerance. For those who do not know, and I'm sorry, Riley, I'm just taking this over. For those who don't know, so I had an actual person who was a stalker at one point, and I take things like this extremely seriously. So if you decide to step over the line, it is an immediate red flag for me, and I will immediately report it. So watching your language in the comments of specifically violence-related things, I don't play with that. If you threaten myself or another person on my channel, it is immediately getting reported. So there's that. But unfortunately, I can't report people in real life land and be like, oh, this is the person, because the response time of doing something like that could mean life or death if they are actually serious. And so I'm just going to avoid, because you never know who somebody that you're camping next to actually is. And that is the unfortunate side of going to larger areas like Quartzsite, where most of the people there are lovely and nice and just there to meet community and stuff like that. But unfortunately, there are some people out there who are scary. So there's that. I've been sitting on that one for a while. If you're on my channel, this has been an ongoing thing. I've had one of their accounts completely removed from YouTube, but that doesn't stop them from creating another account. And so tends to be if someone gets angry and they had to create a new account, they're more angry. So there's that. And I'm still messing with the flies. But yeah, so that's what's been going on, and also why I'm not okay. I mean, I am okay. Clearly, I'm surrounded by amazing people. We just had
flies.
Van Missen. It was like the reinforcement of all of the good people in my life, and I really appreciate those people more than I can even mention. But there is that, and it probably doesn't help that I also just got finished watching. Wait, hang on. Ooh. I just got finished watching.
Like, just watched this documentary.
Yes. So I watched this documentary about this guy who, in the early 2000s, I think it was, actually unalived several people in the great outdoors, and he was a van person. So yeah, it doesn't make me feel great. Again, I don't think most van people are the boogeyman, but I think that if you have a boogeyman in your life,
honestly,
you need to.
You just have to be, exactly, of your surroundings and stuff. Like,
it is just going after my head right now. Oh my gosh, it doesn't like me exposing the secrets of the crazy. But yeah, I think that that's the reality, and I've always said here on my channel, trust your gut. And I would be a hypocrite if I went to some place where I didn't feel comfortable and then something happened. So I'm not doing that. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm going to go with my gut. It is what it is. Oh, but yeah, welcome to
Sounded like
chaos.
you really need to get that off your chest. That's so funny. I've been listening to you talk about this for so long, so I'm really glad that we finally had a chance to explain.
I mean, I think that's the thing with, like, both of us this year. We've had weird things happen that have been projected into the ether as not what they were supposed to be. Like you with the whole, you guys must be fighting. And then me with this, I've had to kind of be a little bit more cryptic about it, because even though, like I said, the common sense of most people is this isn't something that they would do. It's just not. Unfortunately, to the few people who that is how their brain is wired, saying things that could put them off even worse is bad. So navigating it to a place where you feel like you can talk about it. At the same time, I wanted to be able to, sorry guys, there are so many flies right now. It's getting cooler outside, so they're now swarming. I think though it's important to tell people about this, because in all reality, it's like someone over here said, the problem is you can be anyone on YouTube. Yes, you can. A lot of people say, for example, with us being creators, they're like, oh, you don't show this. And you have the right to, as a creator, show your perception of reality. But on the other side of that, the people who are typing also have their perceived reality. And if they're having a bad day and they take it out on a random person on the internet, they don't feel bad about it. They're just doing what they do. And that could have been all this was. I don't think so by the depth of the detail, but
yeah, I mean, I know, as like, if you're going to put your life on YouTube or whatever, I know you run the risk of inviting some negativity sometimes, but death threats are just a little too far.
It's
I don't
a lot, and
think that way, to be quite honest. Like,
I don't either. My brain is not wired that way. If I don't like something and something is off-putting to me, I just click away. And I think that that is the bigger story that everyone should take away. If you don't like something, instead of subjecting yourself to something you don't like, click away. Click on the next video, or don't. And instead of that, some people more recently, and it's been within the last few months, there's been a much more aggressive, like, meanery. That's my new word, meanery, that goes through people where they feel like they really want to project whatever it is going on with them at someone else. And unfortunately, being on YouTube, especially if you're a bold person on YouTube, I think that it hits a lot harder. And so for anyone who is considering doing a YouTube channel, that's something to consider also, because, like, it can be hard. Like, it can be really hard. I'm a super strong person, and I'll just be like, okay. But at the same time, there's a difference between being okay and being like, okay, this is not okay. I need to actually consider this as something, because certain words are different than other words. And so, yeah, there's that. You still have a couple flies in your rig. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's Erin. Hey, Erin, what up? I can't believe you didn't keep speaking with you guys.
Kathy Isaac said, with everything that's going on in the world, you have to be so careful, keep safe. Absolutely. I think that that's super, super true, Kathy. The world's a weird place right now.
It is. That's why I'm traveling with Bunny. I'm just She can't get rid of me. I'm just gonna stick along with her. When I
We're gonna
so
go
she
save some numbers.
I mean, really, yeah. And something I discovered, I know this is like unpopular opinion a little bit, but like I when you and I split up because we were going separate directions, and then I was like solo traveling, like I took a short solo trip to Mammoth Lakes in California a while back, and I had a lot of fun. Like it's fun to solo travel every now and then, but it was funny because I'm just like, this is overrated. I miss my friend. Yeah. I miss having somebody else to help me figure out where to sleep, especially with the sun setting so soon. And I'm just like, man, I'm bored.
I think what's wild is like I traveled for 3 years with no one, like literally no one.
Yeah.
And then whenever I finally found people, thanks to
Yeah.
D, we can applaud D
Thank
for
you,
this.
Dee.
Whenever I finally found people, I was like, oh, I could travel and have fun because I could share these things with the other people.
Yeah.
I like that. And then we can do all sorts of other cool things that are unrelated to just like solo travel at the same time. I still love a good solo travel mission. When I went up to Colorado, I camped and it was fabulous. And I was just like enjoying myself. But at the same time, like whenever you see something new, like I went out to Emerald Lake, for example, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I would love to share this with someone because I
Yeah.
think they would be so cool. And so
Yeah.
instead, I was just like, I'm sending text messages, and I'm like, it's not the same because now the person on the other end has FOMO instead of just the genuine joy. You know, it's not the same.
Definitely when you were traveling in Colorado and doing your whatchamacallit, like mountain house stuff, I was definitely feeling so much FOMO. Especially since like and FOMO on other people's stuff, like especially over the summer since I was just suffering. Like I was just dying. And I'm like, oh, I could be like swimming in a waterfall right now, or
Right. I think that the other thing was like, so when D came to camp with me and we hung out and stuff, it was super, super fun. And then we were only hanging out for a few short days. And then she like went off and I was like, okay, I'm by myself again. And it's not that it's like a bad thing to be by yourself, but it's like you just get into like a groove with another person and you're like, yeah, we're doing these things. And it was super, super fun. And you get like a way about you that is not the same as whenever you travel with another person because you're having to do everything. And so you do take more cautious like looks at things because typically if you travel with somebody else, there's like two sets of eyes on everything.
Yeah.
But like when you're by yourself, you're like, I am looking in every direction all the time. I'm doing 15 checks. I'm making sure my roof box is good. Like all of those things. Whenever you're with somebody else, though, it's just like, cool.
Right. I always just felt a little bit like there was a while. Aaron is in here. Aaron and Sarah, they have like a big RV. And I remember for a brief minute, I was traveling with them and I just instantly felt safe because I would park my rig. Like I'm in the tiny Subaru just right next to them. And I would just feel instantly safe because I'm like, if someone's going to come mess with us, they're going to pick on the RV first. Sorry, Aaron.
More stuff. They have more stuff.
I was like, statistically, they might like go to you guys first and not realize that somebody's in the car sleeping next to you.
They're going to think you're an auxiliary vehicle and that they're in the RV.
I know, right? So, yeah, I was just like, this is good for me. Like, I like it.
Yes. And then also, like, whenever you are at a campsite, like, I know that you and I, whenever we travel, we have our walkies. And so if something's weird, we're like, hi, are you hearing this? And so you have somebody else to make sure you're not just being paranoid in the woods by yourself, thinking that there's some demon creature coming to get you, because you have a friend. And so they're just like, no, you're not crazy. There is something weird in the woods. And you're like, oh no, together. And then who can collectively look out their window in the direction easier? And it's usually you because you have more windows. And then that isn't good necessarily because then you're freaked out.
Remember when I think we were in the Pacific Northwest, we were traveling with Brock, Aussie Van Man. And I just remember because he's such a nice guy, like, because I have Tiny Tyson. And so like late at night, I'd be like, oh, I got to let him out for one last potty break. And I would just like walkie him and be like, can you step outside of your van so I can take my dog out. And he would like, he was so sweet. He'd come outside and be like, I'm going to make sure there's no mountain lions anywhere. And I'd be like, okay, I can take my dog out. Yeah, I kind of miss that.
I'm just over there like, I don't want to do this, Mom. And you're like, go to the body, go to the wilderness.
Yeah. And then, so I got so, because like when we were all caravanning together, I got so used to having someone stand in the dark outside with me that like when I was starting to travel solo again and had to let Tyson out, I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the car. I'm going to like turn on the headlights. I'm going to turn the music on really loud. I'm going to have all the lights on. And then I'm just going to let Tyson. Right. I mean, like,
some random person down the way from you is like, you're literally causing anxiety in a different vehicle of a solo person down the way. They're like, what is that?
I know. I'm sorry.
Just walking my tiny chihuahua.
It's not always like that. It's just like, because you know, like especially when I've been sitting still for so long, and when I am back on the road again, like the first couple nights is always like a little bit nerve-wracking, you know, when I'm just like, okay, all right, got to get used to it again. Like, oh no. And I'm also like, in order to help me stay awake on the road, I listen to like audiobooks and stuff. And I really just like every other
true crime.
I listen to true crime. I listen to true crime, which is a terrible idea because and like lately the books I've been like listening to are about like missing girls.
Murder, kill, woods, single woman. That's what you've been listening to. She sends me a message. She sends me a talk text and she's like, I have to stop doing this. And I'm like, so turn it off. She's like, I can't. It's good. Like, no,
it's just not good because it did. I'd be like, I know I'm doing this myself, but it's just not good.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so we're gonna travel and we're gonna make sure that we don't get scared, even though you know, I'm sure there will still be scared. Yeah.
There was that one time I was like, let's watch a scary movie. She won't do it with me, but there's two of us. It'll be fine.
or the better one, we try to watch Rizzoli and Isles, and she turns on the snake episode, knowing good and well that I'm more petrified of snakes than the boogeyman.
Oh, look, see, someone just said that they watch scary videos too. See, I'm not the only person that does it. Yes, see, I don't. See, I'm not alone. Lots of people do it. I don't know why. Horrible idea.
Riley, all these people yes, I agree with Kathy here. Kathy has it right. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Yes, absolutely. Holly and Kyle, you watch them, but guess what? Holly and Kyle watch them, but they are two people. They have a built-in safety buddy.
You're my safety buddy. You're in the car right
now. Different vehicle. I cannot save you from the outside if I am on the inside.
You can call 911. Good
enough. Hi, we're in an area that has no service. Please call 911 on your little walkie, and I'll be like, 911. That's all I can do. That's about as good as it's getting right now. We're going to die together.
First off, you and I usually try to stay at a place that has service. That's like a hack.
I don't know how many times we've stayed where we do not. Remember the P&W? All of those great campsites that were like, no one knows where we are. We're each other's safety buddy. No one else has a pin. No. And we have no service.
Another tip. We always share our location with other people. Yes. Like my family has it, or like other friends that are, you know, it's always like, here, by the way, here's our location. So if you don't hear from us,
Anika always has my location. Now, is Anika going to magically save the day if we're in the woods somewhere 1,000 miles away? No, but eventually she'll realize that I have not either updated her or posted on social media, and that my blip has not moved. I should probably talk to her about that and be like, hey, so could you look at my blip once a day to make sure I'm moving?
I have a few people that do that too. They'll just be like, I've noticed that you've been hanging out at this Starbucks for a while. And I'll be like, that's not where I'm at.
You're like, no, yes, maybe. Am I working today? Oh. Hello, everyone.
See, I have Tyson, which is usually, I mean, he can't really do much, but he is a first warning, which is really
Bruh,
scary when all of a sudden he does
bruh,
start barking like
bruh.
crazy. Well, okay, look at it this way. Who's going to want to mess with somebody who has a small yippy dog? Ain't nobody going to do it. So, yeah.
See. Shiny Nickel says my kids used to text me about the places I went. Yeah. My parents, whenever I first started out, they thought that I was on a roadside potentially dead because my app did not update and I lost service. So it looked like I was right off the side of the road. Little did they know there was actually a campground. It just didn't show that I had gone into the campground. And so I just looked like I was just there for hours on the side of a road. And they were concerned that I had, one, had a breakdown, two, died. I'm sure that was a thought that went through their mind at some point. And yeah, finally, whenever I got my service back, I was like, no, I was staying at this beautiful campground. It was in the rainforest. And they were like, okay, so you're good.
I had the same thing happen to me. I remember you and I were at a Starbucks once. We were working, but that Starbucks happened to be like right next door to an urgent care. And like I had to go out to my car for a reason, and I was parked. I mean, they share the same parking lot. Right, but the dot looked like it was in the urgent care. So I get a call from my I get a call from my dad freaking out, like, why are you at urgent care? And I was like, what do you mean urgent care? There's no urgent care. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, your location. I see you're in an urgent care. What happened? And I was like, huh?
Like this time nothing.
Yeah. You know what? I told my parents that you and I were going to be traveling together again. It's so funny. Like my parents, when I first started, obviously they worried a lot. Now they're just kind of like used to it. They follow me on like my socials and they're like, yeah, she posts every day. It'll be fine. And just like, again, like you said, the one day, if I don't post something, they're going to be like, but they feel better about us now. But I remember when I first started, my dad was like, what the hell are you two going to do? Like, it was so
everything, nothing, all at once.
I was like, don't worry, Buddy's been doing this a while. I got this. She's got this. I
survived in a tent. I don't know how that. So that's the funniest part. My few friends who are not like sold on van life, but they're like, if we did this, I would go with you because you camped in a tent. And I'm like, you're giving me street cred for something that literally for 3 years, I'm pretty sure at least half the time I was like. Like looking back, I'm just like, oh, I was in some weird places in my little tent. I didn't even realize it. And yeah, now I know. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm in a van now because even though the tent camping was a wild, fun experience where I learned a lot, I also know now some of the places that I enjoyed camping, specifically in Colorado, are where bears are. And there are no bear signs in those areas. So I was like just there, hoping that the signs were telling me the truth, camping in literally a tent, and I didn't die. I'm really happy about that.
I'm so terrified of like bears all the time, hilariously. Like I'm always just like, oh my God, is that a bear? I remember like you and I will be camping somewhere and I'll be like, hey, does that sound like a bear? Can you check outside for me?
And I'm just like, okay. You want me to die first?
I have to take Tyson out. Can you stand outside and just check for bears while I take Tyson out?
Because here, let me check for bears.
I remember like when I first, because Tyson's not the type to run away. Like he stays by my side. He's very good off leash. But it wasn't until like, who are we hanging out with? Our friends Charles and Tony, and he gave me just like horror stories about like, hey, you have a tiny dog. Don't like let him too far away. And then you know, I was always more afraid of bears, but I didn't think about like coyotes.
Mountain lions.
And now we're like, I mean, honestly, he's so tiny. A big bird could like take him away. An owl could take him. And so now I'm just extra paranoid. So now I just like keep him on a leash all the time. But he hates it. Tyson's not a big leash. Yeah.
But he should because number one,
I know.
He's dangerous. Number two, other things are dangerous. Number three, most places we go say that he must be on a leash.
I'm like when we're like in a dispersed camping area, like, like
where all the boogie creatures are.
well, yes. And now
morsel.
Seriously, I don't know how like I got so lucky before. Now I'm a lot more careful with him. But I remember like when I first started and I made all the mistakes with him, and I was just like, I'm really lucky that nothing ever dragged him away. Probably because they thought he was too annoying to eat. I'm gonna go with that because he's kind of
I think it was because as soon as you would realize he's off, you would go, Tyson! And then they would be like, oh no, oh no.
Well, he used to stay really, really close, but as he's built up more confidence, his wander radius has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just like, ooh. Besides, also, all our friends that are in the chat right now, they can attest to this. He's gotten a bit more mellow. I'm just saying. Come on. Even you have to admit.
Just a bit. You have no idea what we're talking about. Tyson is a tiny Chihuahua American who does some interesting things, and amongst those, he barks and growls and won't let you boop him, and it's super sad. He has a bit.
Look, you booped him one time. I bet you could boop him now.
No. I will never attempt to boop again.
I mean, he like, yeah, he doesn't like being booped.
My boots with him.
But like, if you sneak in a boop, it'll be fine.
No. That's what I tried to do before, and I nearly drew back a bloody nub.
Well,
it was bad.
Yeah, don't boop him. But he's used to you. That's what I'm saying.
Like, anti-boops. No boops for Tyson.
See, even Collie agrees with me. Collie said he has a bit.
A bit. Just a bit. She didn't say a lot. A bit.
Well, he's small, so a bit for a small dog is a lot. That's what I'm going with.
A bit. Just say a bit.
See, Aaron says he's always been a sweetheart. Although you mess with him a lot, Aaron. I'm just saying, you really do.
Aaron is determined that Tyson is going to one day magically be like, yes, please pick me up. Aaron, I will have you know I've traveled with this dog a lot. He has sat in my lap and still not allowed me to pet him. And when I had the audacity, because my leg was falling asleep, to wiggle my toes, just wiggle, he nearly took off my entire hand. We're in the QLTVA for the season. Oh, cool. Have fun. Oh my gosh, there is a fly. I promise I am paying attention to you all. It's attacking me. It doesn't like me. And my frog is not scaring it away today.
So let's see. Where are we? We said we're not going to Quartzsite. We're going to be traveling.
Yes.
Oh, what was that?
We have some food. We're going to eating the foods. So excited about that. So one of the reasons why Riley and I both enjoy travel is because we get to try out new things. And one of the things we like collectively is good food. And so I am so excited about this. And we're trying to line up some really good food so that everyone can see where it is and what it tastes like and what it looks like, and probably see some food comas, which will lead to some epic camping. Camping is the main thing we're going to be doing, but at the same time, food comas, really cool stuff.
I mean, it's not, I know some people sometimes comment like, oh, we eat out a lot, which is depending on the week, sometimes true, because we'll just get really deep into our adventures and just forget to cook.
Yeah.
We have this terrible habit of only really eating one big meal a day and then snacking all day long.
Really
but
we have to work
yeah.
That's why we carry a lot of the same like snacky foods with us though, because we'll be like, hey, so we forgot to eat and it's 2:00. Let's grab some chicken salad.
Chicken salad from like, remember, what was it? Fred Meyer up in the Pacific.
My favorite.
Yeah, or like
endless Walmart yeah, so we're going to do that. And then we're also going to do, Michelle, the honey water is not working. I have literally tried everything. These are next level flies. You can even hit them and they don't die. It's really bad. They're like robo flies. Don't know why. Super evil. But yeah, so, but we're going to go eat. I'm just going to go straight back into it. We're just going to go eat. We're going to have some fun. Probably do some hiking too, because it's a good time of year to hike. I like hiking this time of year.
Oh
It's
yeah,
no
yeah,
snake,
yeah.
no
Yeah.
snakies.
No, well, remember that one time?
Yes, I remember all the snaky times.
So
My
there was,
friend.
I don't know if we told that story, but like there was this, oh, it's in a video somewhere. You can go back and look at the PNW videos, but like um we went on a hike somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. We were together and then we kind of split up for a bit because we were filming different sections of the hike. And then I remember just waiting for you to join me because I ended up on this private like beach, like I mean, it was a climb. You literally had to hike over a bunch of stuff. You had to climb down a lot of ridiculous trails to get to the
Jungle. We're gonna
private
call it jungle.
beach. Yes. And then
It
I'm
wasn't.
like texting you being like, "Oh my gosh, hurry up. There's this beautiful little bay, like, lots of we can just chill out here." But
I was
no.
like, "Peace out, Boy Scout. I'm in the car. We are not doing this. Snake-a-palooza." And she was
Because
like, "Oh yeah."
yes, there's a snake. I was like, I made the mistake. I mean, not mistake. I definitely told her on purpose because if I didn't tell her, she would have been mad at me. But I was like, FYI, Tyson found a snake. It's not there anymore. Just watch where you're walking. And she just like was like, do, turn around, bye. Like she's like, I'll wait for
Peace
you at the
out,
parking lot.
Boy Scout. Don't
And
do that.
I was like, you abandoned me.
I don't think you fully realize either. I didn't just peace out and go back. I ran. Like from that moment on, I sprinted. I was like trail running. It was like yeah.
And didn't you run into somebody who said they also saw a snake? Like,
Yes. Yes. In the other direction that I had just come from, they saw another snake. And I was like, okay, bye. We're not doing this.
for someone who enjoys hiking, I mean, like, chances are there are snakes where we're going too.
It is winter. Those snakes go to the night.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is why I hike during fall and winter. I'm like, hey, I really enjoy summer activities, and I would totally love to hike during summer. However, I do not like snakes, so I like to hike high altitude where snakes are like, no, it's too cold. We must move slow. And if I can't do that, I'm like, I'm out. So I'll just go on the scenic drives, and I'll go to the indoor thing.
So you're afraid of the snakes, and beanwhile, I'm more afraid of running into a bear. But also, same thing, like bears hibernate during the winter, right? That's what I'm telling myself.
I don't want people to mistake that I'm only afraid of snakes, and therefore I would be like, oh yeah, bear, best friend. No, I also am afraid of bears. I just think I can have my wits about me a bit more because bears typically don't just like slither across the path. You kind of have some knowledge that the bear is present. I'm not saying the bear is good. I'm not saying the bear is bad. Are we looking at Yogi? Are we looking at Boo Boo? Or are we looking at like Cocaine Bear? If we're looking at a third one, we are going to die. I'm not going to find any positive in that. If we see a little black bear far in the distance, like 2 miles down the way,
we're gonna have a video about bear safety coming out next week.
Yes.
Seriously, you guys are gonna love this video. It is so funny.
Like all of the bears that I have seen out and about, it's been a very non-threatening kind of way, except for the one that came down like behind my van, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Bears are cute. Bears are so cute. I would love, I've seen a few bears too. I've never been able to catch it on camera because the few times that I've seen a bear, I think you, me, and Brock, when we were caravanning, we saw that bear.
Oh, the one that was like scampering. It was so cool. It was
like he was just walking on the side of the road we were driving. I honestly thought it was a dog. I remember. I was like, oh, that's just a large dog because it was a small bear.
It was just a small black bear. Black bears, for the most part, don't want anything to do with humans. For the most part. I mean, every so often, I'm sure there's like,
yeah. It wasn't until we drove up pretty close that I was like, that's not a dog. That's a bear.
It's not. It's not a dog.
Yeah.
No, I saw one whenever I was in Telluride on this trail, and I was almost finished with the trail, and I was going back toward the trailhead, and I heard something kind of below, and there's like this big drop off on the side of the mountain, and it goes down to like this waterway which runs through Telluride.
Mhm.
And I remember hearing something and I was like, what is that? And of course, curiosity, go look over the edge. Well, it's a huge drop, so it's not like it's like super close. So even if I would have made eye contact with the bear, I don't think it would have been like, rawr, and immediately gotten to me. I probably would have been able to somehow get away. But the bear was so concerned with what was going on in the water that I was just like, not even a blip. But I could see it from a distance. I was like, okay, stay there. I'm going to walk faster just to make sure that the bear doesn't change his mind. So I made it back to the trailhead, no problem. And then the other time that I saw a bear was in the Smoky Mountains, and the hotel that I was staying at was known for the bears coming. And that's part of the reason why I was like, this could be fun, because they like come and hang out and they like play by the pool and stuff like that. And like, not while you're there. I'm hoping they might, I don't know. But yeah, I was droning and had just brought my drone down, was about to put it up, have my hands full, and there was a bear at the back of my van. And I'm just like, oh no.
Oh my gosh.
So what did
you do?
I actually could see it coming down off the mountain on the drone, and I had no idea it was even coming down. And I wouldn't have, because it was like the way it was tucked in, I wouldn't have seen it. And so that was interesting. So yeah.
What did you do? Did the bear just hang out on the back of your van?
No, they come through there. So like it was at the back of my van. And so I saw it whenever I did, I was like, ooh. So I opened my door and got in real quick, and I was like, okay. And I could see it scampering away, and I was like, okay, he's probably just coming to sniff out food. But at the same time, I hate to call them tame bears, but they're more tame because apparently this one family comes there every day, and they've never had issues with this one little bear family. So I was like, I didn't feel as scared as I could have, but
the bear family.
Could have also gone badly, so I was like, let's not do that. But you know what? I was a human. It'll make sense later on. It'll make sense later
Hi, bear. I am a human.
I am a human, a big human. Look at me being a big human. Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. Hang on for a second. We have a comment from Kathy. There you go.
That's so cool. Oh yeah, we're definitely making a trip up to Alaska at some point. That's going to be a trip that we're going to plan sometime. I know that I really wanted to this past summer, but obviously things didn't work out that way. But
life has been weird.
Life has been so weird. This has been a weird year. I know I touched on.
It's going to be better.
2024 has to be better, right? Like it has to.
I have nothing to knock. Oh wait, wood walls. Yes. Like, not wood, but okay.
I mean, I don't like maybe the mirror behind me.
Knock on it after we're finished with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually we'll get up that way. I've got a lot of things that like there are certain areas of the country that I have not been to that are on my list that I must accomplish this year.
What part of the country have you not gone to yet?
So I've been to a lot of places, not for the channel necessarily. I haven't. Okay, so I've been to part of the Northeast on the channel. I've been to part not on the channel though, and I would like to go to places I haven't been on the channel for the channel, because the places I would like to go specifically for the channel are so people can know where they are and what they are. But I haven't been to like Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Yeah. I want to go on a cheese tour.
I mean, I've been there. I just haven't van lifed up there, so that would be fun. I would love to go to the East Coast too. Like, it's been a goal of mine to go all the way up to Maine for a while. But I can't. But like, since it's more
real fresh lobster roll.
Yeah.
Very food oriented on that one.
That's and because like I am not 7 years in, I'm actually just about to start year 3. Although I don't know if I can count that. Okay, tell me if this counts, right? Technically, my 2-year anniversary did pass in October, but because I did not do that. Because I said the word anniversary.
I'm doing the air quotes. You saw that. Anniversary.
Nothing. Okay.
How is it you did this earlier and it went woo also?
It does that for me. Okay, what if I said happy birthday? Congratulations.
Happy birthday. Anniversary.
Anniversary. Celebration. I don't know.
Balloons.
My computer does that every now and then, and I'm just like, how did I do it? Somebody teach me what it is I did. But you saw the balloons, right?
I saw the balloons.
Okay. Anyway.
and when I tried to do all the same words, I got no balloons.
What was I saying?
Riley
Oh yes. So we're hitting the road sometime in January, I think. And I've taken like a few short trips here and there, but I haven't really do a thumb. What happens if I do a thumb?
Nothing this time. That's weird because earlier when you did it, there was a thumb. It was bizarre. Wait, is it the wrong thumb? Do you do one thumb? Does it need to be in front of the camera?
We look stupid right now.
This started out as a super serious video, but you can see how it quickly declines as we continue going. This is us. This is us every day. Welcome to the weirdness. But yeah, we continue your anniversary, your 2-year anniversary.
Right. But I haven't really been like on the road consistently since like I want to say like May or June, like early June. So I don't know if this whole like last 6 months can really count as part of my like van journey.
Anniversary.
You know what I mean? So I almost feel bad saying like, oh, I've been on the road for 2 years, when in reality it's been like a year and a half plus like short trips, and then we'll be hitting the road in January again. But like
what I always do is I consider it my years of travel. So like I'm going into my 7th year of travel. I travel about 75% of the year most years. Mm-hmm. This year I had to cram my adventure. Technically, I guess I still have traveled about 75% of the year. It just doesn't feel like it. Because
I think it's because you, like me, sat still for the summer too. Like we were just sitting still, talking about.
So I kind of flip when I travel. So normally I travel and then I come home for like December and that's it. And I'll have periodic times where I'm checking in and stuff. But this time I traveled longer in the winter. I traveled all the way out till like May. And normally I've already come back by then and then gone out again. So technically, I guess if you add up all the time, I've still traveled about 75% of this year. Yeah. It doesn't feel like it because I reversed my seasons though, which I don't love. I don't need to reverse my seasons and be in Texas during the heat because not fun.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing this the next summer, but whatever, I'm just not going to be in Vegas. Like I can't do it again. So if anybody up in Alaska wants to house me and a small dog for 3 months, hit me up.
House me.
Well, because
can I please house you?
Well, at least.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. It's attacking me again. No, stay away from my ears.
Are there any other two thumbs? Okay, try it again. Do 2 thumbs, buddy. I think I did that.
Nothing. I get nothing. There's nothing.
Does it not recognize my thumbs up?
We're just going to do it.
We're just sitting here trying to do this thing.
We're like, please work. Say anniversary again.
I know I said the word anniversary and I was like this, but I don't.
Anniversary. That's going to be a weird thing that we do going forward. We're just going to randomly be in public, anniversary, and people are going to be like, what's wrong?
Well, we already do the dinosaur thing where we're like T-Rex thing.
So yeah, our secret language includes music, acting things out, and words. Lots of weird words.
Bunny should really, if you agree with me and think Bunny should do stand-up comedy, like throw a thumbs up in the comments, please, because she is so funny. She would totally do.
Wait, does thumbs down work? Why do my hands look so weird when I do thumbs down?
Do we have weird?
It's thumbs? Like I should be. This is also weird. Like, okay, so my fingers don't look like they attach the right way when I do thumbs down. Like, why is that? Because, like, this one in thumbs up mode, if I start out thumbs up, they go to the right spot. I know this is weird. See, look. But when I start out thumbs down, they look all jagged. It's fine. It's fine. If only people had to exist with us all the time. T-Rexes have the smallest arms. They do. And that's why we bring it in small.
Did you ever post that video? I forget, of you trying you did?
Yes. I
Oh,
posted me
yeah.
trying the T-Rex suit because that's when we ripped the zipper, and I was like, no, I still need to get it
Yeah, we
repaired.
did. Oh my gosh.
I haven't
We got
had the chance to do that.
we got to take it with us when we travel. We're gonna do it again. It's gonna be great.
I love that Riley, the minimalist, just told me, please put more stuff in your roof box.
Okay, here's okay.
All
right. Here for anyone interested in doing minimalism, here's a travel hack. Here's a hack. Get yourself a friend with more space in her van and just make her carry everything. Yeah.
No. I have already explained. Oh, wait. I just rewound, and you did air quotes when saying anniversary. Air quote anniversary.
Anniversary. Maybe I'm going to
Anniversary.
Like jazz hands. Is that how you do jazz hands? Right? Anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands.
I wish I knew how to do it because I could repeat it. I guess I could Google it. We could Google it.
Well, considering you're the only one who has the activities going on, we don't even know why.
I don't know if it's just like.
In all reality, I should be able to do one of the things too. This would make our StreamYard so much more fun.
I don't think it's a StreamYard thing. I think it's like a Mac thing. Because
I have a Mac. My Mac is not doing that.
Who
else has a Mac? Can you please turn on your camera on your own and just say anniversary and see if it does the thing?
I think it was maybe like because like if you have an iPhone and you text somebody like congratulations or something like that, then it does do like the balloons thing. But I cannot believe it did it on this thing. So that is interesting to me.
I'm trying to see. If I just look at my phone. Oh. No, I'm trying to see if I do something. If I do anniversary. No, it doesn't do it on my phone either.
Did you text somebody anniversary?
I'm going to no, I know it pops up the balloons there, but what if I do the video? Hang on. I'm going to try this. We're trying things together, guys. It's like a try video. Speaking of which, I have some try videos coming up on my try channel. Yes. Okay, I'm going to send this to you. Anniversary.
Did it work?
Is it sending you balloons? Okay, I don't think it's sending you balloons.
I don't think I got your text yet. There it is.
It definitely didn't play balloons.
No, it didn't. Okay, because you did it in a video. A peace sign. I throw peace signs all the time. It works that way. How about congrats?
Congrats!
Oh my God! Did you nothing? How did that happen? I think it only works once for me.
Congrats! Nothing.
Congrats! Congrats! Maybe it's the way you say.
Now say anniversary. Anniversary.
Anniversary. Anniversary.
I want to be able. It has to do the ISO 17 update. Okay, so that means I need to update my laptop apparently. Thank you, Collie, for letting me know this because at least that gives me an answer. So before I chat with you guys next time, if I do this on my computer, I will do an update.
Oh, sorry. A friend of mine just sent me the support thing on how to do it. Apparently, you can do a heart thing too. So
which heart is it? Is it Gen Z heart? Oh, it's this kind of heart. That's the heart that I usually use. So that means it's not going to work when I do my little heart. Heart.
No, you have to do it specifically with like two hands, I think, and go like, wait, did I do it?
Oh, it's doing it.
Okay. I don't think you updated the software on your computer yet, because maybe that's why it doesn't work for you. But
I just said I hadn't. I will be doing that later on. Why are we doing this sneaky snake?
You have an old MacBook. I'm just saying, so you need to update yours. I did try to sell you my old one. I'm just saying.
Sell me a green when I didn't need it. For those of you guys who happy anniversary, Riley. Someone is actually now responding to the fact that we did not finish the story because we did not stay on topic.
Well, thank you. Oh, you have to enable it. Okay, D, tell me, how did I enable it? Because I don't even know how I did it.
You updated.
Oh, balloons was the hold to show. Okay. Ah! Okay, hold on. There's another one. And
this is the difference between OS. Look, see, no iOS. There you go. 17 versus not 17.
Oh.
When superior products exist.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got another one. If I go like, hold on, come on. If I do this, it's supposed to rain.
Maybe your upside down thumbs are weird too.
Oh, wait, I got another one. Hold on. If I go like, do it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is fun. Good job.
All right. I just learned a thing, you guys.
We are learning brain wrinkles here on the channel every day. Is this the most bizarre live you've ever turned into thinking you were just going to hear about Quartzsite? Yes. Oh, Ozzy is saying, happy anniversary and congratulations. Popping bottles.
Thank you. It was back in October 9th, I think, when I hit the road officially. That was wild. Isn't that crazy to think of like how much has changed since then? I feel like I'm still brand new, probably because compared to you, like 7 years on the road. And I have not explored all of the country yet. I've stayed mostly. So I grew up in the Midwest. Huh?
Your first trip that you left on, your first night, do you remember it? And what were your thoughts? And where did you stay?
So let's see. Where did I think I hightailed it to South Dakota. Pretty sure. I was going from Illinois. Actually, so when I first left, it was so funny. I think it was in it was October, right? I went to Iowa first because I had a friend throwing a party out there. So I technically, I guess, went to Iowa first, but I didn't sleep in my car at that point. I stayed at a hotel because I was with friends, right? And then I had Tyson too, so I couldn't leave Tyson in the car. But then I hightailed it to South Dakota, and naive little me thought like, oh, it won't be that cold yet in October. No, it was brutal. It was really brutal. And I remember being like, oh, okay, like, sure, it's totally normal to sleep in 20-degree weather for your first car camping trip. And I survived. It was miserable. I survived.
You lived!
I lived, yes.
Or also, are you in an alternate reality right now and you didn't live? If so, that's like the most weird thing to be stuck with me in your alternate reality. I'm just saying.
I mean, it's been a pretty enjoyable reality so far, like the stuff that we go through,
Oh. I was just wondering, South Dakota, my first night camping in the tent. We stayed outside of Santa Fe for our first night, and it was in April, so it wasn't bad. We tent camped at this actual campsite, and I remember it was me and Pam, and our goal was to get there so we could go to Meow Wolf because I had a 2-week trip planned, and I planned the trip, like actually planned it, because this was before I was just like, let me just float through life, and it actually worked out pretty well because like we were able to do that, and like everything went fine. And then we managed to make it through the additional portion of the 2 weeks without, having too many crazy things happen. I mean, one could question the amount of crazy because it was me and Pam is one of my longest term friends. And so we have a lot of weird between the two of us anyway. And so, it's just normal weirdness though. It wasn't like the crazy stuff. Now, since then, we have found all of the crazy stuff. But yeah, outside of Santa Fe, night 1.
What's
didn't
your
deter
craziest
us from
story? Do you have one? What's your like craziest
crazy.
on the road
Oh,
story?
I don't know. I have some weird ones. I slid down a mountain on ice. I will forever be like up
Was
there.
that when
Had
you
color
were
coats.
with Dee?
No, that's me sliding down on my behind, not on ice. So, me and Telluride have a really interesting love hate. I love it, and it seems to want to teach me things. And the first thing it taught me was that ice doesn't necessarily, manifest itself until you're going up a hill, and then you're like, oh no, I'm going back down the hill backwards. That was bad. Then the other time was that we were hiking, and the same trail that I'd been on before washed out a bit, and that's whenever I slid down on my behind, and I became the meme, weirdest leggings review. So it is what it is. So yeah,
It's so
super
funny
weird
because
stuff.
between the two of us, I'm the one that's like more clumsy. I'm the one that's more likely to trip and fall. And yet I don't know that I've done that. I'm really surprised I haven't like sprained an ankle or broken something yet. Like it's
In all reality, it is about the footwear, which is why I am so adamant about the footwear now, because the shoes do matter. The shoes matter a lot.
come here. Okay.
Other than that, though, I think the weirder situations that I've had have been just like really, I don't know, like, I mean, I've had some weird ones, like whenever the people came up asking at Leadville if they could help me, and there was that moment of panic where I was like, are they real people or are they scary people?
Oh,
It
that
was
one.
just a bizarre situation because I was like, okay, like in
Yeah.
all reality, if they're out there doing an outreach, that's awesome. I'm appreciative of that. At the
Have you
same
told that
time,
story in a video yet?
I did whenever I was up in Colorado,
Oh,
but
yeah,
like I
yeah,
don't think that like the video fully explains the level of weird. Like you're sitting in your van and all of a sudden, and you're in a place that you're not getting the knock, like actually getting the knock. So you're like, who is knocking on my door? And in my head, there's several scenarios that I went through. Number one is maybe because they did this improvement to this site, I'm not supposed to camp here anymore. But then my logic was like, no, this is still a campsite. Two was maybe it's somebody who recognized the van and was coming up to say hi, which is I get that.
yeah. Mhm.
Three, it could be there was this guy that was in Leadville the year before that like lived in the Leadville area, but he like camped, and he actually showed me some cool places to go like on the map. And he said that he actually resided in that area all summer and he worked seasonal there. So I was thinking maybe it was him. Like that even went through my head because that was more logical than a random outreach group. And then it comes to be these two girls. And even then, after I saw the two girls, I still in my head was like, are they the scout for something nefarious going on? And
I can't
also
believe
my
we even
worry,
have to think that, but yeah, that's
well, my
crazy.
worry for them also was like there because I was like, okay, so I hope these girls know this isn't safe to go knock on random vans because I am super nice, but there are some people who are going to be like, why are you knocking on my van? And not
Wow,
in the best
what do you want? Who are you? I'm sure the last
way.
thing they expect to see is two young girls. Like, what?
Right. I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing. So that was kind of strange also.
I remember mine. You were there with me for mine. I forget where exactly.
When you got hit in the parking lot, that was pretty
Yes,
strange.
we were at a truck stop. We were chilling out in my car because my setup's a tiny bit better for entertainment. But yeah, we were just like, it was the end of the night. We were winding down. We were literally just on our phones sharing TikToks with each other, even though we were sitting right next to each other because that's our friendship. Um, and then like, and then we hear something, and then something slams into my car. I was like parked
But like in
back.
a way that's like a soft slam. So it was weird. So it like
Yeah, and
moved
the
the
car
vehicle, not
shook.
like a
Like,
bang.
yeah, it was a loud like thunk. And we both just like froze for a second. We're like, did that happen? Was there an earthquake? Like we just didn't move. We just froze. And then it was like, get out of the car. And like remember that? And then we get
It was
out.
outside of Flagstaff.
It turns out some dude with a truck and a trailer, like a what do you call those? Like the RV
Like
trailer.
it was like a pull behind.
Yeah, like had made a very, I mean, it was a big, like it was too big for the tight turn that it was because we were parked kind of in a back corner, remember? And
Yeah.
like, I understand that, like, if you have those giant rigs and you hit something, you don't know that you hit something. But, like, I was shocked that he didn't notice us very obviously
It
standing
like he drove over your entire front end because it was
Yeah.
like boom, boom.
And
And
it
I
was
was like,
so
how do you
soon
not know
after
that happened?
Yeah, and it was so soon after my car accident, remember when somebody rear-ended me?
Yes.
That I was just like, "Not again!" Like, but,
Stop. No, don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
John was a
I
weird
remember standing there being like, "What do we do?"
I
'Cause,
mean, I feel as though in the weird world, like you've had a lot of the strange ones when it's come to like the people who you've had to interact with as a result of their poor driving, which is wild because like why? Why? You know? So yeah, there's been that.
I've never gone into a ditch because of black ice before, but I have, um, ended up in a ditch. I remember you, like, you, me, Brock were caravanning again. I went
Yes.
off and I got
That was a you issue that time. We're like, no.
I was just trying to pull off to the side of the road because, like, quite honestly, I just really had to pee and I couldn't find a rest stop.
You were in like the most bleak
Like,
part of
I was in the
Oregon.
middle
There's
of I mean, the
nothing.
fact that I even had service was really amazing. I had, like, 1 bar of service left, and I had, like, backed up and like, just, like, fell into a ditch, and my car was, like that, like, almost like a full
I was so far ahead too. We were like over an hour and something down the road already in front of you, and it was like, oh no.
Yeah. It was funny. I was like, "Hey, I'm practically at, like, a 90-degree angle." Like, I was like, "This could end poorly for me."
Dun dun
I
dun.
mean, I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm alive.
I think like a lot of the weirdness that we've encountered has been, I mean, obviously there's been some weird stuff like a random fluke storm or this or that. But at the same time, I think most of the things that we've done have been, you know, we came out on the other side. Yay! I would do the hand signals, but mine clearly don't work. But yeah, I think that it's been interesting. Along the way, we learn we don't make the same mistakes. In
Yeah, we
theory,
have rules. We have
we
rules, you
do have
guys.
rules.
One of them is
Um,
don't eat Starbursts while you're driving because one of us has accidentally done that. We were on walkie-talkies, and I was like, "I'm joking." Yeah. Because like we were caravanning. I was driving ahead of her. I was leading, and then she was behind. And all of a sudden, she noticed that like my car just swerved really badly, and we were kind of like in a cliffy, like somewhere where it would have been a like bad
lanes,
idea for me to fall
very
off.
thin, ocean close by. You know
And then
how
all of a
always
sudden, I
sometimes
hear you
really
on the
bad
walkie
reports of
going, "What the
people
heck are
driving
you
over
doing?"
Yeah, there's been some weird ones, that's for sure. I
Well, now
don't think
I
like
get it.
I think the only other weird one that I could say that I really was I've had two weird encounters with people.
Hmm.
Um, those are weird things because like you can't control people, and if you encounter weirdness, you're just like, oh no, like I'm in the thick of it. I got to figure out really quickly what to do.
Mhm,
The first one was at a campground in Tennessee,
mhm,
and I've told you about this, but like the guy came to my campground while I was tent camping. I hadn't set up yet, and he started like trying to talk to me. There was no one in this campground. It was the end of the season, and he's like looking around me, looking into my car, and I was like, I do not feel comfortable. So I had to get out of there, and he gave me like directions to a gas station, which come to find out was in the scariest part of that part of Tennessee, as opposed to the 5 more minutes up the road that was like a good town. So he was literally trying to lead me to some place, probably to the slaughter. It was really bad. And then the other one was on a hiking trail along the Cascade Loop, and I was actually in, I believe, I was I was in the national park up that way, and I was hiking on this tiny little waterfall trail, and this random person decided to make themselves at home as my friend, and they just kept talking to me, and then I was letting them like exist, trying to like do what I need to do with my filming. And I finally just gave up. And I was like, I'm just going to walk back to the car. And as we were walking, they're asking me weird questions about me being by myself. And I had to, and I don't like to lie to people, but at the same time, like
For
safety.
something like that, you lie.
Well, I'm like, I'm meeting my boyfriend in Seattle this evening, so I got to get there. I'm in a hurry. And I was like, I have GPS on every part of my being and hidden in my car and one embedded in my body. You know, sure. But I felt really nervous. And I even got to a point where I didn't want him to see what vehicle I got in. So I made some random people that I just met on the trailhead be like, hey, be my friend for a minute, and express why. And they were like, okay. And then I went to the ranger station and let them know something weird had happened. And then I hightailed it away from there because that was like the likelihood of him having already assessed the people who were in the parking lot is high. And I'm in a remote area. No, thank you. But yeah, not cool. So I guess those would be my weirdest, worst case scenarios.
Jeez. Like, I think this is why, like, especially every single time you hear those like scary stories of like hiking accidents, I if I were to go hiking by myself, like first off, I'm really glad I have Tyson. I know he's like tiny, but that little dog can hike, is more in shape than I am, which is sad. He could go on forever and I would just be like, slow down. But I tend to just wait, please, I'm dying. But I choose to go on short hikes, like no more than maybe like 2-3 miles max.
2-3 minutes. That's a short hike.
Well, miles, but yes, like, minutes.
Yes, that yes. Too.
Yes, just because
2-3 minute hike. 25 minutes.
Like I recognize, like I'm not the strongest hiker, so I love hiking too. But I think I'm just too afraid to do a really long one by myself, especially knowing that I'm not the most experienced hiker. Yeah.
There's so many dangers for a not experienced hiker out there.
Yeah. Do you tell each other where you are? Yeah. I mean, we share our locations with each other. So. Yeah.
And normally if we haven't heard from each other within like, I know this sounds ridiculous to most people who have no idea about how weird our friendship is, but we talk text each other. So if we haven't talk texted each other for the day, we make sure that the other one is okay because something is likely off.
Yeah.
We talk every day.
We really do, yeah. Okay, we've missed a few messages. Let me just go back.
My guilty pleasure is the Sasquatch podcast. I haven't seen that one. I haven't heard that one. Is it a see or a hear or both? Just curious. Sorry, that was not pleasant. My bad. Let's see. There's other people in here saying hi. And then somebody asked why we were not going to Quartzsite. I do have it marked in the live with a banner that says why we're not going to Quartzsite. There's several reasons, amongst those traveling to different places, and then also personal safety because of some things that have happened. It's nothing personal to any particular person. It's just stuff. I encourage you to go listen to that section, though, of the live because it is marked. And it would be way better at describing than me just brief synopsising it. Let's see. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, it's like this all the time. It's just random. But yeah. So, rule number 1 on our travels this winter, we're not going to die. We're not going to die. We're going to be alive and we're going to do some cool things. Amongst those, we covered we're going to eat. We're also going to be doing some other cool things, the hiking, the sightseeing, just getting to a different place and exploring. I will be keeping this live up, yes. But amongst that, I think that both of us have kind of been looking in the regions that we want to go to, just overall that we haven't been to. And we've kind of been building an ongoing bucket list. So there's lots of options. So I think that'll be cool. Not to mention, we just got to get back in the habit of camping, Riley.
I know. I know we have to get used to it again. I've been even just like the
What is something that you need to do with your rig before we head out?
I have to put my roof box back up on my car.
Yes,
with my dad.
Fire pit.
I am.
You
Yes, I
are.
am.
Yes. So you're going to do
There's no
that. I'm going to install my shelf back into my van.
Oh, yeah.
Because it needs to be done. I have gone through the process of trying to figure it out. I'm going to get my dad to help me fabricate some brackets because I looked into fabricating. It looks really not like something that I'm great at.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get him to help me, but I'm going to learn how to do it so that if I need to ever replace a bracket, I can. I like learning. So yeah, I got to do that. Other than that,
back out, because didn't you put it back in?
what?
Your passenger seat? Did you put it back in,
Oh,
or are you?
no, it's just sitting in my van at this moment because I need to move it. I'm going to bring it back out. I'm trying to debate on what all I need to pack. I also want to have it where if you and I are camping and we want to have like communal time, but not in the outside because the outside might be cold and scary, where we can set up in my van, kind of like we set up in Dee's van. So I think that'd be super fun.
A whole yoga studio in her van. Hers is a lot more set up for entertainment. Although at that, well, remember we have crammed like the three of us in my car before. I don't know how, but we did.
I have couch mode though now, so we can do that in mine.
Yeah, we're gonna be hanging out in your van for sure.
We also can do some other things while we're on the road. I need to like start figuring out some of the things that people are kind of asking along the way, and so we can film some of those videos because I have a lot of questions people have been asking. So I'm going to try to do some of those while we're traveling. And if people like the way that we do the video that's coming out on the 20th, we'll just do it like that because it'll be fun.
We're going to keep doing
I also have earlier in the what's coming out thing, I have a few products that I've been testing out too that I'm going to show. One of which is a power station that I've been testing for months at this point. And so that's going to come out later this month so people can kind of see what I thought because I know some people have asked me for the follow-up on that. And I have some thoughts. Most of them are good. There is one thing, though. One thing that is not but I want to be honest with everybody. So it's coming out closer to Christmas. So there's that. Other than that, let's see. For the van, I don't know. I'm sure there's something that I need to work on in the van. I put in the shore power, so now we can have heat if we go to a paid site. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping we don't need heat. I'm hoping where we travel, it is good. We could just wear some comfy clothes and be chill, but not too chill, if that makes sense. We'll see. But yeah. Somebody asked, I figure out where to store the larger deck. Yes and no. Still trying to figure out where I want to keep it. I have it currently wedged under the back part of my bed where my bed sits up in couch mode. But if I do the correction of my van and put the big shelf back in, I'm going to have to move it because then my bed will lay out flat and that would be in a problem place. So I've got to figure that part out still. I may end up putting in my front floorboard and depending on if I'm traveling with the scooter or not, which wintertime with the scooter is a bit cold. I was ripping and roaring on the scooter in some cold. Felt like knives. Cold. I don't know because I have the two scooters, but the only problem is one of them I basically told my dad he can use whenever he wants to, and only one of them is off-road. So depending on if we were to go to a place that has all smooth sailing versus off-road, we wouldn't be on equal footing if I brought both of them for you and I. So I'm like trying to figure that out. I don't know. We'll see. It's also okay. So I'm not bringing the e-bike. I know that. Okay. The e-bike is a street cruiser, so it's better. And like if I was at a campground, cool. But as soon as I get off of the campground roads, it starts to get a little bit too bumpy for my personal liking with my booty. And I don't want to have to replace my seat just yet. Plus, my dad has been ripping and roaring around on that. You saw him the other day. He likes to just get on and go. So I'm probably going to let him continue playing with that.
Because, it's totally possible to forget how to ride a bike.
Okay, so I thought that, but then I got on the bike whenever I was at the Mountain House retreat, and I was like, I can do this. It's just, it comes back. It's just that I chose to make it come back.
It takes a minute. Maybe I'm just really bad at it, but I mean, I fell off the last time I attempted to. And now I have a big old scar on my leg to prove it. It's one of my more embarrassing
Somebody asked if the scooter will fit in the roof box. It will, but lifting it up to the roof box, because I have to be on a ladder, I feel too uncomfortable with my stability to do that. So I would prefer not to put it in the roof box because then I'm going to have to like.
I'm also
It's hard.
apparently not the most reliable person to
No,
watch.
Riley walks away from you while you're on the ladder. You may fall and
Look,
die.
look,
It
I
is.
got distracted, okay? It was dark. That was so funny.
Oh,
But you know what? Your dad did the same thing to you, so it's okay. I mean, not that
Cindy
it's
asked
okay.
about Colorado Springs and staying in the van. Colorado Springs is one of those places where they have very specifically said they do not want people in their vehicles. I stayed there before I knew that at a Walmart, and every single person got cleared out except for me, and that was because I was in a car, and they didn't know I was in the car. It was a weird day where I pulled in too late and I couldn't find a place, and so I went to go stay at a Walmart because that's what you do, and I started hearing, and I was like, oh, someone's knocking. Cool. And I looked out my window and they made every single van or RV leave, and they gave them a 10-minute warning before they got a ticket. And I looked it up after.
Right?
The tickets are like ridiculous stupid in Colorado Springs if you're caught staying in your vehicle. I would not recommend. There are some campgrounds outside of Colorado Springs that are paid that you can stay at, or there's a few that are dispersed a bit further away. But I will never stay in Colorado Springs in my vehicle unless something changes. It's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think most of Colorado, or at least around the major cities, it was tougher to find free parking, at least.
Yeah. The best thing you can do in those cases is look for like a truck stop or something. But even in Colorado Springs, they don't want you in a truck stop. I've stayed at a truck stop outside of Denver, over by the airport side, and that was fine. But any further in, it gets iffy. And they keep changing things because they're just having so many people flock to that area and then like disrespecting the space. The story I was telling earlier about the community outreach people, the reason why they were doing that is because more people are even coming up north as high as Leadville to stay cooler during the summertime. And they're overstaying the 14 days. Do not overstay the time limit on a piece of land. Even if you are in a bad financial position, do not do it, because what happens is it will not be there next time. And Colorado has shut down a lot of camping because of that.
I remember when we were there, we had so much trouble finding, like every place that I had previously stayed at,
gone.
It's just gone. It's just like they closed off like a lot of those like forest roads or whatever. Yeah, they shut them down. They closed them off.
And
it's kind of sad.
Them, like even the place I like to stay in, the Buena Vista area, it now has a wildlife management sign where you're supposed to register for a permit to stay there. And so I had to do that because even though it's this big open space, they do have rangers who come out there. And if you don't have your permits, that's a ticket. And those tickets are not small. Yeah. But it's because they're just tired of people doing really bad things to the land. We have to be responsible, guys. Whether we are there because we want to be or there because we have to be responsible.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cindy said, my job is trying to send me to work there for a year. You live in South Florida. Well, during the summertime, it is lovely in that area. During the wintertime, it is very cold. Very, very cold. Let's see. Be sure to check your tires every day. Check my tires. Just because my tire is, the little monitor is off now with the new tires.
I just changed my tires, so I'm ready for our for our trip.
Adventures in Crazy Land. I have to. This is like.
I need this. I need this so much.
I think that what we should do is we should do our regular format content, and then we should do some long form thing where we just show a bunch of weird stuff that happens that doesn't make the cut. Well, not even that, because we're not trying things. We're just living, and that's weird enough for us sometimes. Maybe like a long format video that comes out at the end of all the adventures, like with the lessons that we have learned. Because I'm sure there will be stuff.
What have we learned this trip? Well, surely we'll find out.
Rule number 55. Oh, we added that many? Okay, cool.
What are we up to now? Like 8?
Hold on. Let me find out. I have them actually written down. So our rules, let's see, 1, 2,
Rules
3,
for
4.
survival.
We are to 8. We have 8 rules to survive van life.
Yeah.
And while that might seem great for everybody watching, and they might be like, ooh, share those, I don't think these are going to be rules that apply to every person. I think they're mostly rules that apply to us because we're kind of clumsy. So
They're very
it doesn't
specifically
really have much to do with actual van life. These are more like rules for everyday daily survival, even beyond van life. I mean, truth, though. Rule number 1 is don't die.
Yeah.
Have you learned that your respective rigs are adequate? Hang on, let me pull this up here. Or are you hoping to get bigger or smaller? Riley, you can go with that one first.
I am definitely over car camping. Not really. Like, I love it, but it's because I have a smaller SUV. I have a Subaru Outback, and you know, at the time that I got it, it worked out perfectly. I love it. Like, I love it, but I don't know. I kind of wish I could just sit up. Everyone talks about, oh, they wish they can stand in their rig. I just want to be able to sit up, like specifically in bed. Just like, you know, sometimes when you're like ready to go to bed, but you're not ready to fall asleep, that you kind of just want to like sit in bed, like on your phone or something to wind down for the night. I wish I could just like kind of sit up some days.
I think that you should illustrate that to people better in a video whenever we hit the road, because I
Yeah.
don't think that they fully understand how your setup works, why you can't sit up. Because
Yeah.
there's been several people who've been like, oh, it's plenty big, but they don't understand how your bed sits and why you can't sit forward and
It's
up.
just like, so the
Because
Outback is like wider, but like kind of shorter, you know, because it's a smaller SUV. So like I don't have in my setup, like I don't have a build, there's no platform. I used to, but like the space between like the surface of the mattress and the roof was just like basically I have like this much room.
Hello, coffin. Just weird.
Yeah, and so I've taken out my passenger seat, so like if I just set up, like have the back seats up, it's kind of like you've been in there. It's spacious. It feels like a living room, but it is
As
a
soon as
lot of
you move in
work.
the bed, it is no longer a living room, though.
Yeah, I just I mean, it's like perfect the way we travel because when you and I travel together, we move pretty fast paced and honestly, like well, I mean, if you're traveling, like, you know, the point is to get outside of your rig, but I've been doing this long enough, I can say now, that some days you just want to sit inside. Like, you know, like just like in everyday life, you have lazy days where you just don't feel like working and you just feel like watching TV all day or something. I wish I had the space to just have a lazy day if I felt like having a lazy day where it was more
I set
comfortable.
mine up so I could, and when I had my static bed, if I was having a lazy day, I could just lay in bed, but I could also sit up in bed. That's why it was so important for me not to do, other than the fact that it voids my warranty if I cover the wiring, it was also important for me not to have that space because then I couldn't sit up all the way. And so I get that. With the new setup, it's a lot different. And if I want to have a lazy day, I can still have a lazy day. It's just I have to take an extra step to have the lazy day.
Yeah.
As for me, though, I like my van. The fuel economy was the biggest thing for me and still is.
Yeah.
Next to that, my warranty, again, huge, because if something does go wrong with my van, mind you, right now, waiting on parts, not covered by warranty. So can't really do anything about that. But the size, being able to park, being able to navigate, all very cool. Now, I will say this, though. Being my dad's van, it does give me a little FOMO for standing just because there's so much room for activities.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm just kind of like, but I see how much he pays, and it is literally double what I pay for gas. So
I know.
even though he can go really far and he uses diesel and it's really nice, and it would be nice to have it is also exactly double the price of my van when it comes to just gas alone, and that doesn't count for all of the other things that are also more expensive because of the kind of van. So I like mine.
I think it just depends on your style, you know. When I first started, I had a lot of people tell me as a newbie that it's actually better to start off as like car camping to just make that's why I got the car in the first place, because I wasn't sure if I would even like van life. So I started with a car because I knew I needed a car anyway. And then what I didn't anticipate was that like, hey, I like it like a lot.
I want to
And
do
now
this all the time.
yeah. Yeah.
I
But
know I started out with my regular car and I was just like, let's see
yeah.
if this sticks. And then
Yeah.
car number 2, and I'm still
Yeah.
going, and I'm like, okay, van. This
Yeah.
makes more sense.
I know what I don't ever want, you
What's that?
know? I don't ever see myself, and like, no offense to anyone who does it, like there's no, everybody's allowed their own stuff, but I just don't see myself ever getting an RV,
Yeah.
a
I
real
think that
I
they're
just
so big for me. Like, it
yeah,
would
there's just
scare me to drive something that big. I also don't see myself doing a schoolie. If I did
or
a
it's
schoolie,
yeah.
it would have to be like a 4-window like Phil's.
Yeah, yeah,
Phil's
yeah,
schoolie
yeah,
is the perfect size if I was to do a bus, but at the
yeah.
same time, I see how many times that the people who have schoolies are having to fix their schoolies, and that
Yeah.
makes me nervous because that is
Yeah.
so expensive. Or
Mhm.
like the Bus Life Pirates, they had to sit for a long time because of their van or their schoolie repairs. It was just so expensive. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
to like put myself in that position of
Mhm.
not having knowledge or ability to take it just wherever I want, because those
Mhm.
kind of vehicles also can't go to a regular shop.
Mhm. You know what I love
So
seeing? I love seeing like minivan builds, like,
yeah,
because it's cute. Like I've seen some really clever like designs. It's just the same as
yeah,
like your van or like Lady Bug Out's little van, like
just
especially if
all the
it's just
different things.
yeah. And I don't ever see myself either. Like if I ever had a partner that traveled with me on the road, I would never share a van with somebody because I very much like my own space.
Yeah,
Would be like a situation. I've seen couples who do this where they'll travel together, and they're together, but they have their own separate rigs because of how
yeah,
like convenient it is. It really is convenient to have two separate vehicles. Like if you're one vehicle saving a camp spot and the other one's like for adventuring or like
yes,
going to get groceries or stuff like that, just like you and I do sometimes.
yes. I mean, that's
So
so handy, especially in places that are like free campsites where you can't reserve a spot
yeah.
and you get a really cool spot. Like
Yeah, yeah,
whenever we
yeah.
were in the PNW in the rainforest and we parked at the
Yeah,
end of that thing,
yeah, yeah,
it was the
yeah.
perfect spot. It was so beautiful, but if we would have driven away, it would have been gone like that.
Right, yeah. So I just was
Yeah.
like, I don't need a big rig. I really don't. But I definitely can't. I've been saying it for a while. I can't wait to yes, Divine on the Road. That's exactly who I was thinking is Sydney from Divine on the Road and
I
Henry.
haven't
I
ever
talk about
seen
them
it.
all the time to you, Bunny. You're like, I don't know who they are, but
I'm so bad because like I don't watch. It sounds really weird. I don't watch a lot of YouTube, and so when I do get YouTube, it's from the other things that I have interest in because it knows that algorithm fly. Um, but so I don't see a lot of the van channels or a lot of the travel channels. And then the ones that I see are very specifically the kind of travel that I like to do, which is more like brain wrinkle stuff, not so much
yeah.
like we're living stuff. And so you'll like mention like 5 different creators, and I'll be like, what? Or like
That's
B,
because
she'll
I
mention
follow
somebody that
them
she
on
really enjoys. I'll be
Instagram.
like, what? Like I have no idea. And then I feel bad because I'm like, these are pieces of my community. I have no idea who they are.
But anywho, I'm ready to upgrade. I don't know
I get
exactly what
that.
it's gonna look like just yet because I have all these ideas. But maybe that's my goal for 2024 is to finally upgrade to something. I just don't know what yet.
Woo! I'm going to
But I have
eventually, after my
something
dad
to
gets the
do.
van ready, I'm going to take it out at least once.
It's
Just
Bart.
what up, Bart?
Hi, Bart.
Hello.
We missed you at Van Miss.
We did. We missed you, Bart. I'm hoping that all is going well for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Notice much more calm today. Let's see. You need to make sure it's what you want, Riley. Yes, yes, you do.
Well, I have an idea. Like I do. I'm just not sharing it yet until it actually happens because I don't want to
Everyone will get
I
excited
don't want
for
to give
you.
it away just yet. Yeah. Because I in case it doesn't happen.
I get that. Um, how did the cat situation come out? Well,
I heard about that. But
Not the greatest.
she told me what happened to
But everything is going to be okay. I will text you about that.
That's funny. That's really funny.
I also told everyone that you were the kindest human because you were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, we all heard that story.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's costing much.
Oh my gosh, 12K. That is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Teresa said we moved. Oh God, it went away. We moved to New Mexico from Florida. Thanks for Bunny's videos showing us the beautiful West. Yes, I just jumbled all those words, but yes, the brain is tired today, guys.
It is beautiful. I actually slept in New Mexico the other night.
Look at this. Iron Creator shared a vehicle for sale, and someone saw it and bought it. Yes. So what's really wild is, so my dad's van, he had been looking at this van at a barbecue place for a bit. It was parked across from the barbecue place. And apparently somebody else in our area had also looked at it and then ended up seeing my video of my dad having purchased it. And they were slightly upset because my dad had purchased it and they were looking at it. There was no way we could have known that. My dad had literally stalked this van for like 2.5 weeks, stopped and looked at it like 5 times, talked to the guy like twice, and then ended up buying it. But there would have been no way that I could have known that. And then I posted the video of them getting their van, and this person was like, "You're the ones who bought it." And I was like, "I am so sorry." Like, I don't know what to say at that point. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not sorry because my dad really likes the van. But at the same time, everyone had the equal shot to put in the check. Everyone. But yeah, that is a really good tip, though, not to show the thing that you want to buy until you've already bought it. Oh, let's see. Ooh. The fly. Yes, I turned on the air and everything thinking, oh, they'll go away. And they were just like, just kidding. Hi, we're here. Yeah. Let's see. You have the same van as my dad? Cool. That is really cool. I really like his van. It's super nice. And again, I am going to, at some point, take that bad boy out and do an adventure in it. Tyson! Hi, Ty the T-Rex.
It's probably like, put me down.
I'm super bummed I missed Van Miss. This is the 2nd year in a row. Yes, we were sad too. Really unsettling considering Texas is where it takes place. My home base is only 5 to 6 hours away. I mean, you are very close, Bart. So at some point, the stars will align, and then you will get to come and see the epic dance party that is Riley. But yeah, it was super fun. At the same time, there's always next year. It's fine. We did have some interesting. Yeah, there were some interesting things that happened. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. It was just.
I know. I was like, what happened?
So many things. I got to see how well my friends act things out playing charades. That was interesting.
Yeah, Bunny doesn't know how to act out an octopus.
I acted it out so well. I even indicated.
You were like this. I was like, what is
that? I was like, legs.
Here's what you do. You just like throw up like 8. Just go like 8, you know, like
I tried that.
Did you? Well, yes. You could have pointed at my tattoo. Like
I did point at your tattoo. I said, you just going like this. Legs. Anyway, so there was that. There were also some other entertaining games that were played, and lots of yummy food, and lots of chaos, just sheer chaos for no reason. But in the best of ways, like good ways. And then we watched Harry Potter as interpreted by Dee and Aaron.
Yeah, they acted out the whole
on the
thing.
Big screen. That was actually kind of fun. It wasn't even an intention for us to watch Harry Potter. It just happened.
And you know what's so funny? Like now that I'm back at base camp, I just started rewatching it again. Because I was like, ooh, let's just rewatch it.
This is a good question. If you had a grand to spend, what would you buy out of these two items? A heater or a specific toilet?
Composting toilet.
Right. Absolutely. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't need either one of them, but at the same time, like
This is under the assumption that I had a bigger rig and choose between the two. I would purchase a composting toilet for sure. And I know
if I
exactly
had a
which one too. It's the one that Bunny got.
oh, I haven't
But
shown that yet.
I
I have
know.
something interesting coming up very soon with a new toilet that may be in my tiny home, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on my main channel or my tiny home channel. I'm still debating on that, but it definitely came in. Woot woot. So yeah, toilet
Great.
review coming soon. Such a weird thing to review. I really okay. So for anybody who is in this room, I hate reviewing anything that has to do with toilets. I think it's strange to talk about toilet time with strangers. I understand the value of showing a product to you guys of something that might be of interest, but at the same time, use the potty. It's not that hard. I feel uncomfortable being like, and then you take off your pants and you do your business. I'm never going to put that kind of depth into a toilet review. I'm going to be like, this is the toilet and this is how it's used, but not how I personally am using it, because I think that's just strange. It's kind of like I will talk about the ways that you can shower, but I'm never going to like be the person who is like, and now let's go shower. It's just not my aesthetic of things that is on my agenda for me to display of myself. And I feel like there should be some boundaries. And my boundary box is toilet time and showers. It's just, it is what it is. Like we can talk about all the options. But
okay, let's talk about the options, all right?
Which options on which thing? Showers or toilets? The two subjects of weirdness.
Well, Bart brings up a good point. Can't heat in a bucket. Okay. I mean, okay, if money were not an issue, because I don't know how much these cost, the actual like toilets, it's not like composting toilet sounds better because it's, I don't know, better for the environment, whatever. But I actually heard about dry flush toilets. When you
like the bags.
Like it's like bag. It's the refills are really expensive. I think you can only do
super
like
expensive. I looked at one of those.
I looked into it too. The cost of the toilet thing itself is about the same as any of the composting toilets. It's around $1,000, I think. But the refills, because it's only like 15 flushes, the refills are like $90 for a pack.
And you can't get like a generic version of it. It doesn't work.
Yeah. But I always thought like it's easier cleanup. Like you don't have to mess with anything. And I was just like, this would be so cool. But you have to have like a really specific setup, I think, for that. Yeah. But I thought those were like so cool.
Okay, so Bart added to our story here. He said he would go with a heater over a toilet, and then he gave his reason as to why. I mean, I fair, very fair. So this is the thing. I got the heater for my dad so that he could have it in his van. He has unlimited everything power, so I don't have that. And so it makes it harder for me. So instead of buying a heater, which I would then have to figure out how to make work, I would probably invest in actual solar with that $1,000. Because then I could do the things that I would like to do that I can't currently do. And I know I say a lot on my channel, but I eat through some power. Like it's my laptop. My laptop eats the power. And so I would prefer to have that. And then I could have maybe a battery or a couple of batteries still, but like solar.
I think solar it honestly depends on the way you travel, I guess. Especially like because I follow the weather, I don't stay in like snowy areas, for example. I guess like if that's how I was traveling, I just like scratched myself. If that's how I was traveling, then yeah, obviously a heater makes sense.
Trasheroo. I love that name. I just had to post that because I love the name Trasheroo. It seems like it belongs in my weird language of snacky foods.
But like that's what I'm saying though. If you're off grid, you're just like hanging on to your poop that's hanging on the spare tire rack outside of your van for like however long you're out there. That's a lot of poop. That's the only reason why I'm like, because now you can't. Isn't it true? Like most places they won't, because people do leave no trace wrong. That you can't really dig a hole travel so much anymore.
Yes, so leave no trash is leave no trash. Leave no trace is actually discouraging people from cat holes these days
Yeah.
because they're doing cat holes wrong.
Yeah.
And so the fact that there's that many people who specifically on trails, popular trails, are digging cat holes and just leaving so many cat holes in the wilderness, that isn't considered to be packing in and packing out. And so because you're not packing it back out, they're like, no, don't do that. So I understand there's tons of people who think that that's just like the be all end all solution. But like, for example, how many times have you, like we were talking about Quartzsite earlier, Quartzsite is in the desert. The desert has barely any fluid. A lot of people think if you dump your urine container on the ground, that is water and it's providing for them. It is actually killing things, including animals, by doing that. And if you're doing it near a wash, it's horrible. So you need to have a different way to dispose of those things than just dumping them into the wash and killing things. So it all goes back to the leave no trace. Like, how do we do it correctly, especially when we're in concentrated areas with tons of people?
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. It's like interesting. It's so funny because everybody's mostly being like, yes, heater. And I was like, okay, but like, you know, I have not traveled in winter or like cold adventure thingies.
Yes, he does. Go follow him. Bart, will you drop your link, please, sir, so that people can come follow you? Wait, Riley, do the thing.
Oh, wait, hold on. Which was I know like lasers, right? Where is it, this way or is it, I think it's this way. It's not doing it anymore. Maybe hearts?
Do the heart.
There we go.
Something worked. Let's see.
Or like, hang on, thumbs up. There we go. Yay.
I love that we have a party trick now. It's awesome.
I do, but you can't do it yet.
I know. I'm not as cool as Riley is right now. I am behind all the time. I will work on this.
I didn't even know how I did it, to be honest.
You were magic. Oh. Anyway, let's see. So that was a really good question, though, about the $1,000. What would you spend it on? Like, heat would be something that would be more substantial to me than the toilet, because the toilet option is whatever. But I still think I'd probably invest in like an actual solar setup, because for me to use a solar setup at this point, it would include like okay, this is the weird thing. I actually have a Renogy solar panel. I've had it for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's not on the van because I would have to order another rack for my roof to put it up there, and I haven't done that. And so I'm just like, okay, but then comes in the other problem. I then have to run it to the inside and put it in something. So that means drilling.
I see builds. Doesn't Bart do this? I'm pretty sure, unless it's somebody else. Bart, tell me if I'm right or not. Like I've seen rigs where like they have a solar panel, but instead of drilling a hole in their roof for like the wires, they just sort of looped it around and through their door.
For me to do that, it would be where I can't go to the door the correct way. My doors are real weird, and we don't want to mess up the existing doors by any means. So I'd probably end up just piping it through. But the problem with that is then I would have to have a place for the power to go. And that means I'd have to have a standard battery. And guess what? That takes up more space. And then I just see with my current setup, it wouldn't work as well as if I had my static bed. But I like my current setup, so I don't want to lose that. So it's
Are you going to keep your current setup?
For a while, at least, because I do like it. I like couch mode. Plus, I don't really want to put all the stuff back in my van with my platform because my door still isn't fixed. So I still can't use my kitchen. So until I can at
least in your van to throw my stuff, obviously.
I'm just like, dude, my door is just the mystery door. That's the worst thing to get in. I do feel bad for the guy who's working on my van, though, because he's losing business probably because back order for all of his customers across the board. So it's not just me. And so I'm super patient. As long as I can still go and blow and do my things, I'm good. But I know other people probably are not as patient, and they're probably a thorn in his side. So I'm a non-problematic person who's like, hi, just checking in. Is my stuff there? No? Okay, I'm just going to keep going. instead of being like, oh, but yeah. Oh, somebody said it's 2 thumbs, Riley.
Well, I've been doing that. It's cool. I think
Like, and it's magic.
sometimes doesn't work. I don't know. How is Vegas? Well,
Riley.
it's it was hot and it's better now. It's better now. Cuz like it's winter-ish now. So it's cooled off. But I'm ready to get out of here cuz I'm ready to see some green trees. I want to see trees. I want to see water. I want to see anything but the desert.
You want to see adventures.
I want to
You want to see the ocean. That would be great to see the ocean, actually.
I mean, I'm not far from LA and I have a brother out there, so I've sort of seen the ocean.
Sort of and seen are different, okay?
Well,
yeah. Question for the room. Who is going to what this year? There are several events coming up in January, February, March, April, May, sometime in there. So there are, let's see, Schoolypalooza is happening. Yep. Of course, Quartzsite in general, I just consider that one place, but at the same time, there's lots of things going on at Quartzsite. And then after that, they have
some of our friends are going to by the bridge, I think.
Over by the bridge. And then there's, of course, a lot of people go to Mexico just for random Baja.
Yeah. Which
there's like 2 different events that happen at the same time.
As soon as you get your passport, lady, then we can do that adventure. I'm not doing that trip by myself. I'm not doing that solo. You have to come with me.
I mean, obviously. It's not a right now thing.
No, it's not.
But yeah. Somebody said they need a diaper genie in toilet form for adults.
I bet that would help. I agree, actually.
I mean, I don't understand why we couldn't just use a diaper genie. Maybe with how does a diaper genie work? That would be the main question. I have 0 children. I we
don't have kids, so
I know that like all the people that I know who have kids have had a diaper genie somewhere on their registry at some point. And I think I've even bought a couple of diaper genies for friends, for things, but that doesn't mean I know much about them. I'm going to Quartzsite. I missed last year. I was hoping to meet all the YouTubers there. Well, there are a lot of people who are doing meetups. We just won't be there because of some different things. But at the same time, there will be tons of cool people there. So I encourage you to find community. Let's see. If I get enough work trips and I get my van back between next week and the middle of January, I'll be going to Schooly again. Nice. You'll have to let us know how it works out, Bart. We have a couple friends who are going to be there also. So if you happen to see, I think Sarah and Aaron, Charles and Tony, I think Brock is going. Who else was going? I feel like Anthony is going to be there. Colleen and Kyle, are you still in here and are you going? Because you mentioned who is going. I don't know if you've said we're going.
Question. We're going somewhere else. I loved Schooly. I am kind of sad that we'll not go, but I'm also I've done Arizona so much because I'm right there. So
you're like, hi, Arizona. You're a hop, skip, and jump from.
I'm mad. It's funny. I'm mad.
You were in Arizona yesterday.
I flew Arizona just to get to you. Yes. Oh, they're still in here. Yeah, they're gonna go to school. Okay, yeah. Well, have some fun. Make sure you
so
plenty of water.
Yes. Drink all the waters. Have all the funs.
Bring a onesie because they threw a onesie party last year. I think they're still doing it.
Figure out where the loud camp is. Camp across from it so you can just boom, boom, boom,
so that you're right there.
Walk is far though.
Make sure. Okay, so people like to share things like they're like lots of different camps will do like big giant potlucks or something.
Yes, there was the lady last year who made the pancakes. Those were so good.
Those are so good. There was like somebody in a bus somewhere that made like the biggest, I mean, it was like restaurant sized pot of chicken noodle soup. And just like
Yes.
they went around being like, if you need chicken noodle soup, because it was cold. Yeah, it worked perfectly for me because I caught a cold last year. Remember? Like I was like
We were all taking the throat coat
I was like
tea.
dancing through the cold.
Sarah got us on the throat coat because she was like, this will help. And I was like, I need to buy more.
Yes.
It was just so dry and so windy. And it was like, whoa. Yeah. Plus, we'd been going nonstop for weeks at that point. I think that's also what got us. We were just like, donezo. Yeah. Let's see. What else?
Things at school. Someone brought a goat once. Somebody brought a horse. Remember?
Yeah. There was the people with the horse that would parade through.
That was cool.
There was the aerial artist. Of course, all of the musicians and stages and the light shows and the twirlers and the fire. Yeah. And then there was that weird guy. I'm only saying he's weird because I don't know anyone else who has this, who was like, I have a flamethrower gun. And I was like, whoa. And then the weird guy wasn't the guy who had the flamethrower. It was the guy who came up and wanted to play with the flamethrower. And somebody had to be like, maybe he shouldn't have it. There was an iffy moment where I was like, will I have eyebrows? I mean, my eyebrows are already too small, but yeah.
It was so
funny. It was awesome. It was super cool. But this year we'll only be there in spirit. So if you look up at the sky and see little spirits, it isn't really us, but like envision it is, okay? Yeah. We were not dead at that moment. That's the only way you
I want to be the weird guy. Bart, don't bring a flamethrower to Schoolie Palooza. That's all we ask.
Bart, I have a great idea if you want to be the weird guy. National Lampoons. The uncle who wears the hat with the robe and the boxers, you could do that with the flamethrower gun. Everyone will see you as the weird guy. It's okay. Let's see. Riley, not far from Fort Mojave, Arizona.
What up?
What up? It looks like they're in a house. We are in our houses right now. So we're at our base camps. Mm-hmm. We travel in our vehicles. I travel 75% of the year. Riley travels a little bit less this year, but she's about to get back into it. So we're at our base camp. It's the holidays. This is whenever we tend to be around our families. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we're just kind of talking about the things that are coming up, what's going on, and then also kind of filling in some of the blanks because we hadn't done a live update people in a while.
Yeah. And we wanted to let people know we're still friends.
Yes, because that is important to know. It makes more sense to those who understand why we're saying that. Go to MIA for a bit. I haven't been MIA. I've been traveling. We just have been traveling separately. So she's been more MIA because she's been more at her base camp consistently. I have been traveling but doing like shorter trips for now. Some of that was related to the fact that I was trying to get my van fixed. Some of it was related to just I had some stuff I needed to take care of. And It was a good kind of reset for me. But still been doing videos. 5 videos a week is I've been lot.
I've been going through a lot of personal things.
Riley, do the heart so we can say goodbye to Collie and Kyle.
Dang it.
Work, heart. There you go.
You need to do it like right up on the video. Yeah.
You're in charge of all of our action emojis at this moment.
I gotta do something. Yeah. Get yourself a friend. If you're going to find somebody to caravan with, get yourself a friend who does all of the planning. And then hey, I help with some stuff. There's stuff I help. I do reactions.
Most of the stuff that we plan for is just like the overall thought of what we kind of want to do. And then if we do see something that does need to be like planned, then we actually take the action steps to do it. But typically it's more so like, ooh, this looks like a great idea. And then we're here and the idea is over here. And then we have to find all the things that get us to the idea. And so that's when we kind of fly by the seat of our pants. But when there's 2 people, you do have to at least have an end destination.
I make sure that you eat. There you go. I make sure to remind you. We actually do that for each other. We're like, hey, we
Yes.
haven't eaten in 8 hours.
We're accountability buddies. It works out well. Like if there is something that one of us, like for example, there was one thing last year where Riley had an appointment that she had to be in the city to do something. And so we both actively were like, we cannot forget because this is the day she said she needs to be there. So instead of one person setting a reminder, two people set a reminder because in all reality, one person setting it means that it could fail. Two people, it's less likely to fail. Yes, Randy Quaid. Thank you. That was the word that I was looking for earlier. Bart dressed up like Randy Quaid from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
You're like, wait, squirrel, what happened?
I know, I swirled. I don't know.
I swirled too hard for you. It's okay. But yeah, so we did miss you, Bart. I'm echoing what LBO is saying down there.
I gave you the most famous quote.
Yes.
I don't know that I've seen that movie. I know, but there's so many movies I haven't seen.
Bart, let me explain something that we need to work with Riley on, and I need your help because I know that you really like movies. Riley has seen exactly 4 movies in her life. Okay, that's sarcasm. She's seen more. But when you ask her about basically any movie, she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, the classics. She has no idea about most of the really good movies. So anytime you see Riley, we need to work on this. And I need positive reinforcements. Oh, let's see. I'm reading through comments. Sorry, it just like went boop, boop. Let's see. Yes, Bart did the face palm. That is correct. That is what I do every time. I'm like, you'll miss this reference, but
I know I missed so many references.
I was like trying to reference something from Wolf of Wall Street. I had to send her the actual clip so she'd understand why this was important. And it almost loses the fun when you're like, here, let me send you the reference material. Now you get to watch the 3-minute video. Now let me tell you why.
So I watch YouTube videos instead of real movies.
What has happened to your life since before YouTube existed? Did you just not ever watch movies?
Read books. I'm a reader. Lately, it's been a lot of crime drama. Thus, what we talked about earlier. I'm sorry, Bart.
You're killing me, Smalls. Yes. Do you know what that is a reference from, Riley?
It's escaping me at the moment, but I know that reference. I do. I promise I do. No, there's been a few movies where I'm like, I know what you're talking about. Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe that's something we can do. We can just watch a bunch of movies on the road or something. I don't know.
I feel like we're going to have to, but I don't even know where to start. Have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
Yes. Yeah. Which one?
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. The first one.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So we're starting at a clear line where you've seen at least that one. That's good. That's good. Wow. Wow.
What did you do for entertainment in the before times? I don't know.
I read books. I read books for Kingdom Life. I don't know. It's okay. I find myself explaining all sorts of random things that don't have much significance to most people, and I'm learning that. But at the same time, like I'm just like, ooh, I have this piece of knowledge, and then others are like, what are you talking about? And I feel like that's you a lot when I do any movie reference at all.
Oh my gosh. Sad. So we've been on this live for like 2 hours. Should we maybe think about wrapping this up because I'm hungry and I'm sure your dog needs to eat.
I have to go feed Spanky, yes. So I guess we got all the things out of the way. What's happened, what's going to happen, why we're not going to Quartzsite. Oh no, Bart said, excuse me. Hang on. What are we excusing? Time out. I know it's one of the things we just referenced where Riley doesn't know movies. I just don't know which one. There were so many. Oh, but yeah, I think that we did a good job covering all the who, what, when, where, why, and how. I think so. And then, of course, just to kind of recap, Riley has some cool things from Vegas and Chicago coming out. Woot woot. She's going to be getting back on the road with me pretty soon. And so she's going to have even more interesting things. We have some surprises coming out whenever we travel. So we'll be sharing those soon. We're still trying to, on the non-planning planning part, we're trying to plan some of those. And then on my channel, we have the bear video, which is probably one of the funniest things that we have recorded in a while. That'll be out on the 20th. Van list will continue going on the Tiny Home channel. I'm going to show you every single day that I had leading up to when everyone came, and then also the event itself. So it will wrap up on December 25th, one video a day. It's a lot of videos. But if you're interested in Christmas, it's kind of fun. So let's see. Other than that, products. I have a review on the battery people have been asking me about. And I think I'm almost positive that that's the synopsis of what's happening. Yeah. And we were successful at using StreamYard, and I think that deserves a high five, friend.
Yes. It didn't glitch out as much as I thought it would. And
maybe we can coordinate some more. Right. That's the big thing. My internet works now. So maybe we can coordinate another one of these before we take off on our trip to kind of give a few more little hidden details. And so then we can kind of keep everybody in the loop, because we both take responsibility for the fact that we haven't done a live in a bit. So it is what it is. If we're traveling and you're interested in finding out more about the locations that we're going to and stuff like that, I am going to be updating the map that I have, my Scribble map, at some point during our adventures to share more of those places. So it'll be a little bit more handy for you guys. We're going to do, at least I don't know exactly what Riley has in charge of her videos, but I'll be doing some more campground reviews so you guys can see some of the campgrounds we stay at. And of course, we mentioned
unique stays, because I think I've been doing those. Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, I can't say it without giving it away. I'm trying to convince
Bunny to find something fun.
Find something fun and maybe slightly dangerous, but not that bad.
The part where I'm like, oh no.
Yes. We know I'm the daredevil in this one.
Man. It's gonna be interesting. We may add some more rules by the end of this trip, but if we do, we'll let you guys know what they are. And bungee jumping. I don't think that's our journey.
Get her to go whitewater rafting with me. Okay.
So this is before we hang this one up tonight. Let me explain why I was anti-whitewater rafting with Riley specifically. You know you're my friend. You know I love you to death. But picture this. Riley walks away from me on a ladder and I nearly fall off and die. She wants me to get on a boat where she is my only friend on the boat. And then if I fall overboard, she's going to be focused on what's in front of her and her not falling off and forget about me. And on top of that, not have the strength to pull my big self up. So the odds are against me in rafting with Riley for the first time.
On a beginner one, chances of you fall. I mean, it's like a tiny little trickle. Like, you're fine.
So this is the thing. I chose to go with the Mountain House people because, number one, it's our whole team. The entire boat cares if you die or not. So I knew if I fell off, somebody'd be like, hi, and welcome back to the boat. And you can leave me there for like 25 minutes going, oh
no. Now that you've done it, the next on my list is to go skydiving.
I know who can go with us or who we can go to. Rocky. Rocky is the skydiving guy.
Look, Ladybug, I just said anything dangerous.
You know you're always welcome to the
She
craziness.
yes.
Welcome to the crazy farm.
You have to help me convince her. Okay. Dee would totally do the adventure that I'm not going to say yet because it's a surprise. She totally would
I
be
mean,
up for
I
it.
would do the adventure that you're saying. I'm just trying to make sure that when we do the adventure, we think about all the details so we don't put ourselves in peril.
Yeah, and that's what you're really good at is the details, and I just go, well, let's wing it. It's fine. It'll be
Yes, but
fine.
whenever you say that, I'm just like, hey, let's think about these things because I'm the detail person, and you're just like, no, and I'm like, yes, calm down, just a little. We can do it. Just be mindful while we're doing it that we don't die. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to have to call your brother and be like, hi, so bad things have happened, and I am the one to call you and tell you this. No, smart. I'm super spontaneous. That's just it. Like, I will go with it. I just always will go with it where I'm not putting myself in peril, because there's a difference between that slight edge of danger and peril. And traveling with Riley, you learn that fine line is very thin. Very thin. Yes, I favor on caution. Little caution. Just little caution. Because otherwise, like, I'm telling you, the only reason why is like I would be dangling from a wire still getting there, and Riley would be like, do, butterfly. Does that make sense?
Don't let Riley drive you.
Everyone in your friendship has like their thing. You just know their thing. That's Riley's thing. It doesn't make it not fun to travel with her. It's quite fun, but still.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've survived this long. We'll be fine.
Don't let Riley drive you on a tandem jet ski.
Yeah, I would not trust that either. I have some funny stories about that.
See, this is why we have the caution.
I have a story about how like I did it with my cousin, and I turned a little too hard and he flew off, but because he's got a strong grip, he dragged me with him and he cussed me out and was like, I'm driving. And I was dying laughing.
I just really realistically want, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but one day, I just want for us to have the budget or the ability to have someone just film just us for a continued amount of days. Because I feel as though if we had that happen and we were like, oh, fourth wall, cool, and just proceeded through life, I think people would understand a little bit more why I'm like, no, we should not do that. We might die.
And I'm the friend that's like, what's the worst that can happen? It'll be fine. Like,
Dun, dun, dun. In fact, worse things could happen.
and then the internet will be like, where did Riley and Bunny go? They just disappeared.
Oh, don't worry. They just fell off of a mountain. Yeah. The positive is, I don't think that we will fall off mountains on our trip.
No.
Because I feel as though we're not going to be near a ton of mountains. I mean, maybe some.
Maybe.
But not like mountains.
No. Plus, we both struggle with elevation change.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Like, I did okay when I went up to Colorado and did the mountain house stuff. I didn't end up with headaches or anything. But then I was super tired, I think was part of it, because I went from heat exhaustion to elevation. So it was like, I hear typing. She has spirit fingers, not jazz hands.
Oh my God,
What was the worst that could happen? Yes. Thank you. That is exactly Erin. Yes.
That's Erin. My friend.
Exactly. She knows. So I have a secondary person in the room who could raise their hand and be like, yes, I have been personally victimized. But what's the worst that can happen? I feel so seen right now, Erin. Thank you. Yes. It's like you just wait for the shoe to drop. It's like, Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's always fun. Don't get me wrong. Like it's wild, but it's fun.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's
We haven't perished yet.
fine. What's the word?
Yet.
Dude, there's so many Riley merch moments that have been created by my friends based on weird things I've said or done or went missing.
Man, that's the other thing. If you don't have good communication with Riley while you're in the wilderness, you may never see her again.
Wait, you're making it sound really bad, okay? Not in the wilderness. Hashtag where's Riley?
Where's Riley is a very real hashtag. You're hanging out, and all of a sudden you notice that you're missing one person, and you're like, okay, where did she go? And you might be like at an event, and so that's a 50-50 chance that she's in her vehicle or somewhere else, random, not even at camp anymore.
Okay, that was one time because I thought you got my text.
Riley like Martin Short in Pure Luck. Possibly. Riley has no idea what that is. Riley, that's another movie to put on your list.
I know.
Put an air tag on Riley. So funny story.
You know what? You're not the first to suggest that.
Doing this. We talked about doing this. We talked about doing this for her and Tyson. And that way everyone would know where they are and if they are together. Because if they are not together, that's also a problem. Because who knows where they are?
Yeah.
Yes, we told her we were going to chip her.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's fair. That makes sense. Like, yeah. I squirrel. I like, squirrel syndrome. I'm like, ooh, what's that over there? Ooh.
But she says it in a way that you don't hear it while you're doing stuff. So she'll just be like, ooh, and then you'll look back and where's Riley?
It was only this year that I discovered that I might be a little bit ADHD, just a little bit. I learned something. I was like, well, that explains a bit.
But that's okay because you're working through figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, the air tag is not a bad idea.
It's really not a bad idea. I've been saying I need to do that for a while.
Like, where would you put it on your being that's not going to detach from you? That's the problem. Because, like, I saw this one girl. Oh my gosh! Wait. Speaking of which, this one girl had an air tag that she put in her kids' shoes. There's like this sole that you can buy to put an air tag in the shoe, and it's because so weird story. She was explaining that there were some children in her area that got abducted. Very dark.
Oh, God.
She was super worried because one of her kids fit the profile of the kids who had gone missing. So she was like, I don't want somebody to steal my kid. And so she thought about it and she was like, if I were to just put an air tag in their bag, they typically throw the bag out. And if they have a cell phone, they're typically not going to be able to keep their cell phone. So she's like, what statistically is something that they leave on the child? Even in the cases where the child was abducted and unalived, they always had shoes on. So she found these shoes that have an air tag spot in like the sole. You pull up this sole and it goes under it and it like encapsulates it so it doesn't have pressure on it, so it doesn't break. And she got these for her kids and it went viral on TikTok that all these parents were like, yes, I'm getting those for my kids.
Here for a second.
My thought is this is actually pretty smart because think about it. If you're out hiking and you have an air tag, people know where you are.
Yeah.
Like even if, for example, if you do get attacked by a bear and your being is scattered about, your boot is still somewhat in the region of your being scattered out. At least somebody can find you.
What if the boot comes off because I'm running away from a bear and it's like, oh no, I got lost in the woods because my boot fell off during the run?
I mean, at least it's somewhere in your proximity of your body. Like you've been there. At least they'll be like, oh, she was here. And then they can trace the feet prints. See, we need air tags for our shoes. That's all there is to it.
Look, you just can't separate from me, okay? Like when we go hiking, you're just
the woman who walks away.
Well, when we hike together, I have not walked away from you. I am just saying. Except for that one time. Yes. But there were tons of other people around. It's fine.
Some of those people
again,
predators. I can see it now. Excuse me, sir. You cannot attack me because there are other people out here.
I'm thinking of when we were at, was it Hurricane Ridge, right? That was the only time I can think of.
There were so many weird things. Yes. Hurricane Ridge, you ended up on the ridge because you didn't know there was another guest center. Yes. Oh, well, my true, what is this? I can't do this because it keeps moving on me and it's so small on my screen right now. Anyway, yes, it was good. Famous last words. It's fine. If only you knew how many times Riley actually says it. It's fine. It's fine.
You say it a lot too. You say it a lot.
I know
too.
Because that's my word that I picked up from you. Just like I
really?
say snacky poo or snacky snack, and you're like, it's fine. Hi, friends.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
He's fine. He's fine.
It's fine.
Yes, our language is very interesting. But yes, we do need to get off here. We've been on here for 2 hours and 38 minutes.
I'm so hungry right now.
I have had so much fun. And somebody else said that's merch. So go for it, Riley. But we are off to see The Wizard because Riley actually understands that movie reference. We're going to work on her movie skills over our winter travels. And other than
by
that,
our next live, I'll figure out what everybody is talking about. You are keeping track of this for me, right? Because you're the note person.
I am the note person. However, Bart, I need you to send Riley an assignment of movies because you are my other movie person. Send her what you think she should watch. We will quiz her later. It's like school, Riley. It'll be super, super fun. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We're going to get off of here. It's been fun. Make sure that you go and subscribe to all the people in the chat who have YouTube channels, including Bart and Lady Bug Out, of course, Riley. And then if you're here, you've probably been here for a while. So thank you for being a supporter of the channel. Anyway, bye, guys.
Bye.